for legal reasons that will become clearer later.
That will probably become clear later, like the French Revolution.
I talked to this guy for a couple of hours, and now he wants to move across the country to be together. Yeah, that's a red flag, all right. In other words, a lesson in being too forgiving with men who are being weird. Seems to happen more often than it should. A few days ago, I got a friend request from this guy. I didn't immediately recognize him, but we had a few mutuals, and I saw that he was Latter-day Saints, so I figured that the worst that would happen is that I'd get a message about joining the church or whatever. He messaged me later that night to ask how I was doing. I responded, and we had a relatively superficial and casual conversation, and nothing really alarming goes on. He brings up school and tells me that he's waiting to transfer to a BYU school in my state, and I was like, yeah, cool. I know basically nothing about that school other than Mormons, and he tells me, that's fine. I just figured it would be nice to know someone where you're from. And yeah, I agreed, since he'd be moving almost halfway across the country if he transferred, and the conversation basically ended there for the night. Then the next day, I get a good morning message from him, and again, we just have a casual conversation of, hey, how are you? I'm doing good. You? Oh, same, cool. And that's about it. But this is where it gets weird. He asks if I had any plans for the day, and he told me that he had plans to see a friend. And then he told me not to worry, he wasn't seeing a girl. I was like, okay, weird, but I figured it was just a one-off comment. Well, it wasn't. He continued to send me similar reassurances throughout the day. He let me know he was going to the store, but don't worry, he was just with family. Oh God, I love it already. I didn't get a text from him for a good few hours, and he tells me he took a road trip, but don't worry, he was with his guy friends. He then sends me a good night message and tells me he's spending the night at friends, but don't worry because there's no girls around. At this point, I don't think it's out of line to ask what the hell he's talking about. Why do you feel the need to tell me this? And then he'll be like, aren't you gonna be my girlfriend? And you'd be like, no, dude. Are you nuts? Of course not. That was never established at any point. And then he told me that he was happy that God put me in his life. Mind you, this was literally the second time that we ever talked. Ever. Oh, you didn't know about God's plan, OP? Yep, you're the plan. Good job. Congratulations. I told him that I wasn't worried because there was nothing to be worried about. And I reminded him that this was literally the second time we've ever had a conversation with each other. I thought that'd get him to back off, but then Valentine's Day comes around, and he asks how it went for me. And then he says that he wishes we could have been together in my state. I told him point blank that I wasn't looking for a relationship. And then he says, that's fine. Let's just remain faithful and honest, and we'll see where things go. Bleh. I stopped responding after that. Probably a good move. Anyway, this all happened over the span of like 3 days. I know Mormons have a tendency to move fast, but damn, dude. Yep, he's a psychopath, all right. Although, you know, he mostly was probably looking for something because it was around Valentine's Day. He looked at the calendar, he's like, February 11th? Shit, I gotta develop a meaningful relationship in just 3 days. Or speed running marriage, bro. Oh, what a nut job. I absolutely love it. It's short, it's sweet, but, you know, that doesn't make it any less cringe. But anyways, I think we're nice and warmed up now, so we'll go ahead and hit it with the big one right now. Nice guys of OnlyFans. Oh, snap. There's a lot of simping going on there, I'm gonna tell you. We were talking in the Discord about making a video on Instagram comments because there's so many beta orbiters there, and I'm sure it's even worse on OnlyFans. I think Walter Fate mentioned something about OnlyFans comments being super wild, and somebody's like, you have to pay to leave them, so that makes complete sense, which I was unaware of, as I've never participated in OnlyFans, but I guess it does make sense. If you got to pay to leave that comment, then leave one that sticks out, even if it only sticks out because you're being a complete psychopath. But I guess we'll see how this one devolves. Hello, people of Reddit. Boy, oh boy, do I have a story for you today. This is the story of Calvin, name changed for obvious reasons, and how he duped me. But I did get my revenge. Calvin is like the perfect name. It would not surprise me if his actual name is Calvin. Now, with this whole pandemic going on, I was laid off work, and despite being put on government assistance, I needed the extra cash to help pay some bills, so I'm not scraping by, and some help with Christmas time. So I joined OnlyFans at the end of May of this year. Can you smash together OnlyFans and unemployment? Is that legal? Whatever, I guess. As long as you're making ends meet, sure, why not? Now, a lot of my clients are absolute dolls. They are a true blessing to me. They're good tippers, and they pay for every pay-per-view message, and they even suggest me to their friends. I know that's hard to believe, but it is true. I guess it's not that hard to believe if you're making good content, you know what I mean? They're like, hey bro, check this out. It's only $8 a month or something. I don't actually know. I spend most of my days promoting and making content. We are just two peas in a pod. I post teasers on my Snapchat, and that is how I met Calvin. Now, Calvin added my snap from one of the OnlyFans promotion groups that I'm on Facebook. All was fine and dandy. The more people I add on Snap means there's more people to see my promoting, and hopefully they end up joining my OnlyFans, which in the end equals more money in my pocket. But Calvin wasn't like the rest of my customers. He didn't want to join my OnlyFans, but he wanted some custom content, which wasn't a problem. $500 to sit on a cake? Hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. We agreed that he'd pay through PayPal and I'd send the content through Snap. He spent a decent amount of money on things. A few dollars here, a few dollars there, and it all added up. But it all came to a head one day. Calvin and I talked for most of the day for a few days before he made this request. He wanted to do a one-on-one FaceTime chat with mutual self-pleasuring. I'd watch him, he'd watch me. I gave him a price for this, how long it would last, and a date and time for when this would all happen. He agreed with everything, especially the price, and I made up a contract for him to sign and send back to me, for legal reasons that will become clearer later. I had the gut feeling that this was going to be too good to be true, but I chalked that up to nerves since this is the first time that I would be doing a one-on-one FaceTime with a customer. Videos are way different than being live with someone. Well, ain't that the truth? The power of editing is so strong, man. If you see my live streams, you know how much I screw things up. There's even some stuff that slips through editing, so you can probably tell how much of a mushmouth that I am. But basically, all I have to concentrate on is speaking, where this woman has to do some other things, probably at the same time. Anyways, when the time comes, I call him over Snapchat, and he answers. We do our thing. I told him that he only had an hour since I had other things to do, and he agreed that an hour would be fine. And before anyone asks, yes, I got the money up front before we did anything. Another lesson that I learned the hard way. Ouch. Anyways, Calvin's taking forever to finish. I'm doing everything I can possibly do to help him out, but Nothing's happening. And that's when the timer went off and our session ended. Calvin wasn't happy. He proceeded to try and call me a half a dozen times before just raging in our chat. I didn't exactly ignore him, but like I said, I have other things that I needed to do. I had to do my grocery shopping and some cleaning, adult shit. Well, Calvin obviously doesn't see you as a person. You're a pleasure robot that he paid for the services of. And I'm sure it will only devolve because of that outlook. Now, imagine this. I'm minding my business in the cereal aisle of Walmart, and all I can feel is my phone frantically vibrating in my pocket. Unbeknownst to me, it was all Calvin. Finally, I got fed up and checked to see who was trying to get a hold of me so badly. If I thought I was annoyed before, boy, I was beyond annoyed now. Calvin was spamming my Snapchat and continuing to try and FaceTime me. OP, is there something else I can help you with? Calvin, why did you end the call? OP, the hour was up. Calvin, but I didn't come. Sad face. Oh, there's something about that sentence with a sad face at the end. It just cracks me up. OP, I know. I'm sorry, but I have other things to do, and you agreed. 1 hour. Calvin, but I didn't come. OP, again, I am sorry. Calvin, can we do it again? OP, yeah, but it'll cost you. Calvin, no. OP, no. Calvin, I didn't come. I'm not paying for another chat. OP, then you're not getting one. Sorry. I run a business and we had an agreement. I agreed on 1 hour, not until you got your rocks off. You got what you paid for. This did not go over well with Calvin. He was pissed. Now I like to think that I was reasonable. We had an agreement that the session would last only 1 hour. He agreed to this, and that's what he got. Nowhere in our agreement did it say that the session would last until he got off. He got what he paid for, contractually. 1 hour of me watching him and him watching me. So if he wanted another session, he would have to pay for another session. I left the conversation at that and finished doing my shopping, then went to the Starbucks drive-thru for my s'more for pay. When I got home, I did my thing, put my groceries away, cleaned up a bit, then I finally sat down to relax a bit. I decided to move the money from my PayPal to my bank. That's when I saw it. Calvin had refunded all the money that he paid me. $375 was refunded. So I did the only rational thing I could think of, and I asked him about it. OP, hey, did you refund my money on PayPal? Calvin, yeah, I did. OP, why? Calvin, cause you're a scamming bitch. OP, how did I scam you? Calvin, you ended the call before I could come. OP, that's not scamming you. You agreed to the terms and conditions of our session. 1 hour, that's it. Calvin, joke's on you. I screen recorded all the stuff you sent me and our call. I got your for free now. Now I was beyond pissed. Not only did he refund all the money that he paid me, he recorded my content. I know, it's kind of the territory of sex work, but that doesn't make it okay. Well, here's the thing. I know my I know what's legal and what's not legal, and I made up a contract for him to sign and date before I ever did the FaceTime call. It specifically said that he wasn't allowed to screenshot or record our session, as well as how long it'll last and when it will happen. He proceeded to sign that paper, agreeing to my terms and conditions. I only do that for one-on-one FaceTime calls, since there can be a bit more legality to it. Besides the contract, him, unknowingly to me, recording all that stuff is considered revenge porn, which is very much illegal. OP, Calvin, delete my stuff right now. Calvin, nah, I'm gonna post it and get some coin off of it. OP, that's against the law. If you do it, I will press charges. Calvin,
Stupid hoe. Think I give a damn about you? To take one look at your OnlyFans and drop the charges. You're nothing but a hooker, selling your body for a dime. That stank coochie. Try me. Selling your used up coos, that's all you're good for. Keep sucking for $1, little girl.
well, you got the contract, you've got the text acknowledgement of said contract. The judge is going to hang him out to dry, basically, especially if it's a lady judge. Now, old me probably would have gone off on him, but new me was smarter than that. I myself took screenshots of our conversation. Yep. Half to show my best friend the absolute audacity of this, and the other half was to blacklist him in every group that promotes models of OnlyFans, since he's in like 99% of the same ones that I'm in. Trust me, I see him thirsting after other models all the time. I also got the information that I needed from his Facebook profile, the area of the city he's from, where he works, his phone number. Damn, dude. People on Facebook just doxing themselves. All that jazz just in case I needed to press charges. Calvin was not happy when I posted our conversations to the groups, tagging him in the posts as well. I warned the other girls about him in case he's done this to other girls or for girls that he planned on doing this to, and he went off on me in the comments. He said,
It wasn't fair that I posted our private conversations.
oh, the irony. One of his golden comments went something like this.
Stupid OnlyFans hoes think they're slick. I'll ruin all of you. I'll post this content on your Facebook walls for your family and friends to see. I'll DM your mom or your dad that they raised a no-good whore. Stupid. Always get what they want. I paid her and she scammed me. 1 hour video chat for $100? That's a ripoff. No one wants your loose coos. That's why you're only on OnlyFans. Catfishing people out of their money. Scam. You scammer.
Yep, that was a direct quote from his comment. I got a screenshot of it before he was banned from the groups. A few of the regulars in my group saw the post and decided to leave me great big tips in hopes that it wouldn't deter me from doing special requests for them like I did for Calvin. I ended up making more than triple the amount that Calvin had paid me. I also pressed charges against him, and we went to court back in November. He was fined $5,000 and sentenced to 6 months in jail. Oh boy. Let's just say I got the last laugh. But yeah, that's the story of how nice guys can be found anywhere, but especially OnlyFans. And how one tried me and it basically backfired in his face. Hope you enjoyed my story. I know it's hard to believe. Sometimes I think it's all just a nightmare, but it did in fact happen, and I did in fact win. Well, I have my suspicions that the post was mostly made for OP to promote her OnlyFans to some lonely guys in some nice guy subreddits. But if it is in fact true, then I guess I can only be pretty amazed at how deftly OP navigated the legality of the whole thing. I mean, making a contract is a smart thing to do, no matter what. If you're going to be working with someone in some capacity, then you need to have that safety net and outline basically what you're expecting of them, and they should probably edit the contract and say what they're expecting of you. Most people don't do that. They just sign the contract and give it back. But contracts are a negotiation, so really you should read it over, be like, okay, well, here's my revisions, but I suppose this is what happens when you think with your PP, isn't it? Dude probably believed that OnlyFans is, you know, illegal or something like that, which it isn't. Prostitution is illegal unless you record it. Unless you record it for distribution purposes. But yeah, selling nudies, nudie pitches, especially nudie pictures of yourself. That's not illegal. So this dude probably should have done his homework as well, or at least, taken that 1 hour of recorded footage that he had and used it to get himself off, The footage is still there. It's still good. I mean, I assume it was good. It was OP's first time, but really, I mean, how bad could it have possibly been that the dude, physically couldn't do it within 1 hour? Bruh. Somebody's got a problem here. I don't know which one of you twos it is, but you need to work it out. And so they did in the court system. What a story, Mark. And I listened.
Can you at least stab me in my ear?
Housemates, nice guy husband yelled at me and my other housemate for being
terrible influences to his wife.
because we're helping her with her personal development, and he's terrified that she will be too good for him. God damn, quite a title. But it also sounds exactly like standard nice guy fare, so I'm eager to get into it. To make this clearer for anyone who reads this, housemate 1, the one with the husband, and housemate 2 is the one who got yelled at along with me. Both housemates and I have been friends for a few years. Over the last 6 months, housemate 1 has been living with me and housemate 2 because her and hubby's apartment is under construction and wouldn't be ready until next year. She decided to live with us as her husband's current home and her parents' homes are not really mentally healthy places. Over the months of staying with us, I could see HM1's improvement in confidence and mental health. We also encouraged her to try out alternative dressing and body modifications, such as tattoos and piercings, since she has always had an interest in it. Her husband has always been against any form of body modification, even to the point of saying that when he saw her tattoos, he wanted to puke. No accounting for taste, I suppose. Housemate 1's best friend is heavily inked, and so am I, and I don't see him puking around me whenever he's in my apartment. Yeah, I don't know, man. Everybody's entitled to their opinion and whatnot, but this seems like a really weird hill to try and die on. I don't know. Last Sunday, he screamed at me and housemate 2 because we accompanied his wife to get her nose and ears pierced. It wasn't even like extreme piercings, just small, delicate ones. When his wife wanted tattoos, I accompanied her to get a couple of small ones that could be hidden. He got upset as well. Just some background. She checked with him about getting piercings before going for it, and he said,
"Oh, okay."
She was shocked when he got upset. It's just like when ladies say that that's fine, you know? Nice guys are known to do it too. How are you doing? Fine, whatever. Okay then. I'm just super annoyed with him because it's clear that he's afraid of his wife leaving him whenever she grows in confidence about her own appearance. Aside from the screaming at us, I've just been told by housemate 1 that her husband expects her to be grateful because he's nice to her. And despite his disgust, he is accepting her body modifications. Nice, bro? Oh god, nice is the bare minimum. Nice isn't a fucking personality trait. Fresh sheets are nice. A bread pudding is nice. Who gives a fuck if a person is nice? Housemate 1 has tried for years to tell Hubs to be more independent and improve himself, but he just loafs around playing video games in his free time. To be quite honest, I can't completely blame husband either, because housemate 1 admitted that she's with him because she's too afraid to be alone, and is just enduring her frustrations with him. Oh, well, my sympathy for hers has gone out the window as well. I think housemate 1 is actually considering divorce at the moment. Anyway, just wanted to vent because I got dragged into their marriage drama, and I'm watching the clusterfuck of their codependent relationship go up in absolute flames. Well, this is just a dumpster fire all around, man. Why did she marry him at all? Because she's afraid to be alone? Ugh. Just do everybody a favor, him and you, and get the divorce already. Even the OP seems like kind of an idiot. If you want me to be quite honest, it's like, yeah, we're helping her with personal development by getting her tattoos and piercings. Okay, but that doesn't really fix what's underneath, does it? Sure, you're gonna feel, different for a while because you got some new shit on your face. But doesn't true confidence come from within? This is definitely the kind of post that makes me really glad that I don't interact with people on a regular basis. If my wife wanted to get like a bunch of tattoos and piercings and such, and I was not attracted to it, I would tell her that. Look, darling, I don't find that very attractive. If she decided to do it anyways, well, that's her bodily autonomy. You know what I mean? Now it's your decision of whether you can live with that or not, because you're perfectly within your rights to walk away from it, even if it seems to me like that would be a pretty petty and stupid decision. But really, neither of them wants to walk away from the other because they're both scared of being alone. It is a very weird and codependent relationship, and it's a total trash fire. And I don't think OP is actually helping as much as she thinks she is. Like, yeah, it's their fucking marriage, which is obviously dysfunctional enough, so stop trying to fix it by throwing a tattooed monkey wrench into it. You know what I mean? Let them figure it out. If they want to stay together legitimately, then they need to go to like a certified counselor, not have some gal pal who's gonna be like, let's get your nose pierced. What the fuck? Like, that's gonna help anything. Oh, God. The verdict is everybody sucks here. Wait, wrong subreddit. But yeah, everybody does definitely suck. I'm gonna do one more story to try and get the bad taste out of my mouth. So let's go.
I even took showers for you.
Long post. Bro, the title alone has sent me. I have been sent, sirs. Hello. Just a note. I am new to Reddit, and I'm not entirely sure how this thing works, so cut me some slack if I'm on the wrong page or something. I'm still learning. Anyways, the story I'm about to tell you is something that I kept very personal, because I was ashamed of my reaction. However, after battling with guilt and sadness over losing a friend due to the lack of mutual feelings, I decided that this is a story worth sharing. Losing a friend due to lack of mutual feelings? What the hell's that? A few years ago, I moved to a new town in a different country. Almost straight after, I, who was a 21-year-old female, became friends with a guy who was 22 in a pub. We became good friends pretty quickly. However, he started developing feelings for me. I wasn't, and still am not, interested in him. Oh, now that sentence is making more sense. When I told him this, he instantly started blaming me for
manipulating him
getting dressed well in order to impress him,
and hold him on a leash, making him fall in love with me.
Oh boy. This dude definitely thinks that he is the main character. Obviously, I decided to end my contact with him, even though I started questioning my own actions, and I genuinely believed that I was in the wrong. What? Don't let them nice guys live rent-free in your head, OP. Just do you, Live your best life. That's what it's really all about. So I apologized. Don't. We became friends again. Again, everything was okay for a while until I started dating another guy, which really angered him. God. This is so classic. Again, he told me that I made him feel
ugly and unwanted.
He said that
loving me was a dead end, that I was rude and willing to spread my legs for anyone.
Yeah, except for you. Got He lied to me about getting in fights to defend my honor. Oh, what? Oh, that's too good. I can't breathe. Because his friends had called me a whore as well, according to him. Only I get to call her a whore. Oh, it's getting so good so quick. God damn. He told me
how I should be grateful that he loves me, because he was certain that nobody else had and would love me like that.
He told me that
I would be a failed actress with no future, that I'm cold and emotionless.
And some much worse things, i.e., yeah, you used to be fatter before, etc. Once again, I decided to forgive him. Bro, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, what is going on here? Talk shit to me like that one time, you're out. Never coming back. I cut people out for way less. I don't care, I'm looking out for number one. I don't know whether it was for attention or if I really cared about him as a person, or maybe both. He asked me not to call him my friend because
he felt that was belittling.
God, this is such a good one. It's a giant wall of text, but I'm so glad I decided to forge on ahead. It's just too good. He asked me not to share stories about my love life because
they made him feel bad.
Every time he confessed his love to me, he asked me
not to say anything, unless it's what he wanted to hear.
Don't refute my advances. Just let me stand here and play pretend with you. And I listened. I tried not to make him feel bad, unwanted, and belittled because he was a person who I valued in one way or another. He would call me 10 plus times when he knew I was with another guy, even if my intentions were not romantic or anything like that. He continuously told me
how much effort he put into our friendship and how he didn't feel that I did the same.
Fuck out of here. You don't feel like being friends with me, then don't. Simple. Bye. It made me feel like shit, though, and it made me doubt myself. It made me feel like I was a bad and manipulative person with no respect for others, even though deep down within, I knew that that wasn't true, and that despite how much effort either of us put in, we did what we could afford to do. He even said that
he took showers for me.
There it is. And that I had to feel grateful for that, according to him. So these showers are for me, not you? What is going on in his head? This is some deep-seated issues that we're looking at right now. He kept on painting me as some monster that he had to put up with. He called me horrible names and told me how I
should feel really grateful for having him for a friend because I'm not easy to be friends with.
Not when you want to bang your friends. That's the difficult part for you, isn't it? Recently, after confessing his love for me for the millionth time, I asked him to stop. I let him know that I now find it a bit creepy and that it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not trying to imply that I've always been perfect in my friendship with him, and I'm aware that I should have cut ties with him the first time. Anyway, after asking him to stop, I was met with a 1,000-word essay about how he's
a misunderstood romantic, and I'm the villain who made him cold.
This dude's out of his mind. And I'm living for it. I found this guy a job. He joined the same course as me in college, and then gave both of them up and just blamed me for his failure. I could not believe how delusional he truly is. He told me
how bad he felt when he saw couples together,
and how I
put him in a horrible situation where he couldn't even kiss the woman he loves goodbye.
That's OP. That's the woman he loves. Of course she doesn't want a kiss from you, freako. He even dared to say that
he has a penis. And
I need to understand. Oh God, it's killing me. He came to my house, leaving notes and bottles of wine and money. The love goblin. I even feared that he could hurt me at one point. Yeah, that is always something to be aware of. I mean, God, I laugh so hard at it, but then reality strikes, and I'm like, actually, this dude legitimately is out of his mind. Be careful. I didn't know what to do, and I still don't. I made the mistake of telling him about my plan to move away, and now he has decided to do the same in the same city. Why would you tell him that? What? You have so obviously not cut him off if you're telling him about your plans to move away. What the hell is going on, man? I'm so conflicted. He even went as far as lying about getting kicked out of his house the exact same month that I was planning to move. What a coincidence. Anyway, I think that I should end this rant, and hopefully whoever has the patience to read this and feels as if they are in the same or a similar situation, please know that it is not your fault, and try to do anything you can to separate yourself from this person, i.e., don't tell them where you're moving away to. I'm sorry, Opie. I don't mean to take shots at you or nothing like that. This is a horrible situation. Textbook nice guy. And I definitely would be scared of this person. The dude is an absolute maniac. It seems to me like he's been gaslighting you since the beginning of this friendship. And maybe that is why it's been so hard to pull yourself away from him. You know what I mean? He sunk his hooks into you. And the only solution, as far as I can tell, is just to completely stonewall him. When you start to move somewhere different. He's headed to Ohio. Great, I'm going to Kentucky. You know what I mean? What he's doing is emotional abuse. And the empathetic side of me understands why you did stick around, try and be friends with him over and over again. But the rational side of me needs you to see that he's not being a good friend to you. You haven't been leading him on, like he says, because right from the outset, you made it pretty clear. We are just friends. So the only person that is responsible for his feelings at this point is him. And I don't know if he'll ever have the self-reflection to see that for himself. So cutting ties is the best way to get out of this situation, at least in my opinion. As hilarious as all the crazy things he said is, I mean, he is clearly crazy. You need to stay away from this person, 100%. OP has not had a post since this post, so I don't want to think the worst. I don't want to get the ReddX detectives out here, but I am concerned, you know. I hope that you're out there, OP, and I hope that you're doing a lot better. If you had to completely burn this account because the guy is following you, like, I understand that as well. Whatever it takes, just get away. And I hope that the next girl that he chooses to victimize is also able to get away. And the one after that, because people like this don't stop until they are stopped, you know? Unfortunately, I don't have the budget for a Batman suit quite yet. So I can't go out there and stop him myself. But I can spread awareness. And I hope that is exactly what I've done with these stories today. Say some creep shit on the computer, and if it doesn't pan out, you're just like, whoops, it was my cousin. Nice guy throws a temper tantrum when he finds out I have a boyfriend and proceeds to give us the most awkward weekend of our lives. God, this is so classic. Throws a temper tantrum when he finds out I have a boyfriend. That's just nice guys in a single sentence, isn't it? But then to go above and beyond and have him around for an entire weekend to ruin everything, that's beautiful. Mwah, chef's kiss. First time poster here. I don't really know if this fits as a nice guy TM, but after one of the most awkward weekends of my life, I just had to share it. English is not my first language, and the story is kinda long, so please bear with me. You're doing great already. The golden rule is if they apologize for their grammar, they're going to have good grammar. And good grammar's nice, because then I read it smoothly. A little context is needed here. 3 of my best friends from high school went to the same university and stayed really close for the entire duration of their career there. Logically, they shared a group of friends, and when they started dating, the 3 of them started dating around the same time. All 3 in long-term relationships, they either dated among this group or someone who would eventually fit nicely into this group. Yeah, that's the wise way to date, I suppose. You don't want somebody who's not going to fit into the group, although I don't necessarily know about dating within your own group. I was always the type to like reach out, be like, oh, hey person that I hardly know. If this relationship fails, then we're not gonna have any awkward moments afterwards. We can just pretend we don't know each other again, right? So for the longest time, they were really excited about the idea of hooking me up with someone from their friends group so we could go on dates, the 8 of us. 8 of us? That's a big old date, forget about it. That's too many people, man. I'm good in groups of 5 or less. Miss me with all that. So they really pestered me and tried to get me to date one of their friends. Yeah, that's the best way to get somebody to date somebody else. Just harass them about it.
Hey, you want to date my friend, please?
Isn't an entire friend group made of neckbeards and nice guys? Maybe. I'm suspicious. So, yes, enter nice guy. Let's call him Ginger. Oh, ginger kids.
Ginger kids are born with a disease. It's called gingivitis. And it occurs because ginger kids have no souls.
He was one of their friends. Despite having a neck beard, he's not really even that bad looking. He's got a neck beard though. Run! Sure, he's a bit on the chubby side and kind of short. And, well, ginger. I love how OP's just like dropping firebombs. She's like, he's not that bad, but kind of fat and a little bit short, and the color of his hair's wrong. Well, I'm glad he succeeded despite all of that, I guess. I'm sure many girls might even call him cute. The real problem with Ginger is that he reeks of desperation. He's always doing things
just to impress the girls.
And he has said as much himself. And
to establish dominance.
bro, yes, reeks of desperation. Is this a neckbeard story? Have we crossed the line? I mean, like I've said before, the nice guys, the neckbeards, the Venn diagram's basically just a goddamn circle. But this guy's also bought into the smegma male grind set.
I have to establish my dominance.
Yeah. Everybody's terrified of you, short, fat ginger man. God, just be cool, man. Why you gotta try so hard? Stop trying so hard. It's not worth it. It ain't even getting results, so I don't understand the effort you're putting in. He's always telling stories about
how many girls he fucked, and how many girls he gets, and that his family has a lot of money, and he likes showing it off.
As if somebody's gonna be like, oh, well, that's the clincher. We're dating now. You banged a lot of chicks and you're wealthy. Okay. I don't think that the fact has entered his mind that, you know, all of that is just stuff that helps to establish confidence. Gasp. So maybe if I'm a more confident person that is self-assured, then I could get chicks. But you're just like taking the root cause of said confidence without actually like realizing that it is just the confidence, the result of those things. Not only that, but this dude argues about anything. He could literally try to argue about the sky being blue and grass being green. He argues just for the sake of arguing and to annoy other people. Like, does he purposely want to annoy other people, or is he just one of those people that's like,
I'm just playing the devil's advocate. It's not actually my viewpoint, I'm just saying.
oh yeah, that's super helpful. Other friends have told him before that it is not endearing, and that it doesn't help him at all, but he just keeps doing it. He's also prone to temper tantrums when things don't go his way. Honestly, I don't understand how my friends still have him as a friend. Something deep down, I'm already sussy of the whole friend group, I'll tell you. birds of a feather and that. There's something going on here. I don't like it none too much. I would not join that friend group if I was you, OP. Back away, and then turn around, and then run, and keep running. How did this guy actually get a date? Oh yeah, they found a woman that was harassed into it. God damn, this is just like so many red flags in the first couple of paragraphs. Wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, when I was in my second semester and still did not know my friends' friends very well, I was invited to party with them. Yeah, bro, let's go party, man. Whoa. I went to a different university than they did, but it was in the same city, so we were fairly close and we would still go out together a lot. And their friends already knew me as someone who would hang out with them. Sometimes. In this party, I got just blasted, shit-faced drunk, and it was then when Ginger decided to attack. Oh my god, what a scumbag, dude. He's like,
You seem inebriated enough.
So horrible. Can he just get his ass beat? Can Snowman show up out of nowhere and put him feet to Jesus? Because that's really what I want to see happen right now. We had been introduced before, and my friends had made their usual jokes of, please take her out, but we had not really talked to each other. So he started asking me,
how such a pretty girl like me was single,
and those kinds of things. Yeah, the creepy pickup line kinds of things. The sort of things that you say that are guaranteed never to work. Because you're being disingenuous off the bat, so get the fuck away from me. Ugh. He took me outside of the house
so we could talk better.
And then he put me in the trunk of his car so we could talk better. No, that didn't happen, but it's not like I'm not expecting that to happen at some point during this story. This guy has already established himself as a complete fucking creeper. Ugh. And he was also trying to take me away from my friends that were starting to get concerned about my drunk state and were trying to send me home. Yes, see? Exactly. Might not be the trunk. Maybe it is the back seat. You might even get the front seat if he's really nice. I shouldn't joke about this. We gotta move on past it. So I decided to stay outside talking to him while hiding from my friends. Not my brightest moment, I know. Yeah, you were drunk though. Can't really be blamed for poor decisions made while drunk. I don't really remember exactly what we talked about. It was a really long time ago. But I remember clearly how at some point all the alarms in my brain went crazy when he went from talking about the relativity of everything in life to trying to convince me to have sex with him.
Yeah, stuff is totally weird, man. Okay, want to bang it out though?
No. Doesn't matter how drunk I am, I still have enough faculties to say no. Jesus Christ, dude. I tried to ditch him, but he physically blocked the door with his body. And when I tried to push through, he tried to tickle me. Kick him in the balls. Just a swift one to the nuts, and he falls over. I jumped away from him, and he tried to corner me, so I yelled something along the lines of, I know something that's not relative. Distances. For example, I want you to be 10 feet away from me right now. Yeah, get that restraining order ASAP. The worst thing, he actually tried to argue about how 10 feet, it could be relative. No, what? Jesus Christ. My friends still laugh when they remember they found me screeching at Ginger 10 feet in my in the party's backyard anytime he tried to get any closer to me. Well, you definitely had your head on a swivel, you know. Your defense mechanisms were on point and working. Thank God for that. Even if you're drunk as hell, blackout, just blasted, yeah, you can still tell. Your alarm bells are still, like, somewhere in your lizard brain, still functional, telling you to get the hell away from this dude. As long as you didn't pass out, yeah, you'll be fine, I guess. You made it. That's the important part. Now, what's really creepy is that very recently, I found out that he also told that story very often, but he used it as proof that he almost got into my pants. Like, how? I want to hear his version of the tale. Yeah, she screamed 10 feet and she was talking about my dick. No, seriously, it's 10 feet long. I can't show it to you right now because it's a little cold out here. But also, I'm rich. Please go on a date with me, please. Of course, all this is not true. I was literally screaming for him to get away from me. The worst thing about this, though, is that this was ages ago. I'm talking at least 4 or 5 years. I tried to shrug it off since everybody I cared about knew what happened. And if, in his deranged mind, he had decided to remember it like he almost got it, it was simply not worth fighting over it. And I almost managed to forget about it. Almost. I'm a big proponent of pick your battles and whatnot, but I think that this is one battle that I would have taken up arms to fight. You are besmirching my good name. I did not bang Ginger. Never in a million years would I even think about it. Just set the record straight. You know, that's the wise thing to do. But also, if you don't care, you don't care. Like I said, I can't tell you how to live. Ginger messaged me every once in a while over all these years, and he'd usually send something cringy. Hey, beautiful, winky face, was usually his go-to, or it was kind of lewd. I would love to see more, winky face. When I posted bikini shots, for example. Oh, God. How did you not block him? I would have filed the restraining order the next day. Be like, look, you tried to weird me out in the backyard. I don't want to be around you anymore. There's no downside to having the restraining order on hand. You can decide when you want to actually enforce it. You're just like, hey, you need to get out of here or I'll call the cops. Ha ha ha. And then watch him run away. That's a fun game to play. It's probably not how restraining orders work. Don't quote me on any of this. And then he would say that he left his Facebook open on the university's computer, so it must have been something else. Or that it was his cousin or something like that. I never answered, and since the messaging stopped around a year ago, I eventually forgot about that, too. The old go-to classic. Say some creep shit on the computer, and if it doesn't pan out, you're just like, whoops, it was my cousin. I don't think that's how any of this works, bro. Cousins don't post creepy comments on bikini pictures. Cousins log into your Facebook and write, hey, everybody, I have an announcement. I'm super gay. I like men. And then your whole family goes, what? And some people realize that you got hacked. But mostly the older relatives go, what? Facebook is weird, bro. Good Lord. So cut to this last weekend. Now, another little context note here. In my city, it's very common for people with money to have a second house on a group of beaches that are around an hour away as a little getaway vacationing spot for summer. Yeah, people with money. That ain't me. Man, I want a second vacation house. Can we have that someday? I'm working on it, goddammit. I'm not even salty that they have it. I just know that I want that too. Obviously, these are party paradise for young people. I'm not talking about some little cottages, but full-on 6-bedroom houses, 100 yards away from the beach, each room with at least 4 or 5 beds. So it's common to have big groups of friends over and just have a wild weekend. You guys having orgies in there? I think I realize what this is all about. No, it's probably not what they're doing. It's like a sleepover. It's innocent fun. But my mind just takes it to some horrible places. So Lord, I apologize. And oh boy, did Ginger like to show off his house. His parents were never there, and over the years, I heard so much about the parties that he liked to organize in that house. I was never invited since I wasn't an official member of the group of friends that they formed while in university. And while they sounded fun when my friends told me about them, I never felt the urge to get an invitation to go to one. Yeah, especially when you know for a fact that the host is a creep. You can miss me with all that. I don't even like parties anyways. Yeah, it's in somebody's house. That makes it totally different and more cool than, I don't know, going to a nightclub or something. No, they're pretty equal on the scale of lameness. I guess a house party is slightly better than a nightclub, but they're still lame. Lame in their own special ways. I'm just too old. I don't want to do any of this now. None of this sounds like fun to me. Very recently, I finally fulfilled my friend's lifelong wishes and started dating a member of their group. Was it Ginger? Oh God, please say it wasn't Ginger. It took me a little bit by surprise, but boyfriend, let's call him that, is super caring and nice, and everything is going great between us. Oh boy, there's gonna be some jealousy here. I can't wait. Are they gonna beat each other up over a girl? That would be entertaining. I mean, it's also kind of sad, but I'll be entertained, I promise. Do it, throw a punch, now! Almost a week ago, Ginger announced that he was going to organize
A party at his beach house over the weekend.
I like how it's his beach house. How about your parents? Let's be real here.
It's mommy and daddy's house. Do you want to come over to my mommy and daddy's house?
No, I don't. That makes it sound extra double plus lame. He usually invites all of their group, and it is implicit that everybody's boyfriend or girlfriend is invited as well. So people usually just say they're bringing a +1, and nobody fusses all that much about it. Since I now have the official girlfriend title, boyfriend asked me if I wanted to go, so that he could tell Ginger that he was bringing someone. I said yes, so boyfriend did say so, but he made the mistake of not mentioning that it was me who was going to be going with him. And since it was a recent thing, I guess not everybody knew that we were dating. Bruh. I think it would have been equally awkward on the phone. You know, Ginger probably would have been like, no, I don't want her to come, etc., etc. But to actually show up at the house, oh boy. That's gonna make some fireworks, I'm pretty sure. And when he did, Ginger flipped out. Like I said, here comes the fireworks. It all started with one of his usual temper tantrums. We were leaving Friday in the afternoon for the beach after everybody's workday was over. And in the morning, Ginger sent a message telling everybody
that they should all meet in his city house, and they'll go together from there.
Huh. That's suspicious.
That's suspicious.
This is so like he could pick people off before they arrive at the actual house. They're like, yeah, everybody's invited. We're all totally gonna go except for you. Oh, snap. Is this real life right now?
You better believe it.
At least that's what I think his plan is. Of course, all of this would be completely normal if his house wasn't literally at the other end of the city and everybody was going by their own means. He had to press the issue forward until finally boyfriend told him that he couldn't because he was going to pick me up from my house, since he did not want me to go alone on a bus or arrive on my own and feel awkward around people that I don't really know that well. My house is exactly on the route from his workplace to the highway, so it really was the most logical thing to do. We don't do logic here. We're nice guys. What the hell is a logic? We were halfway through when a friend that was going with us in boyfriend's car receives a call saying that Ginger has not left his city house yet and is threatening not to, and leave all of us stuck outside the beach house if nobody goes to meet him in the city house and rides with him to the beach. What the hell? Oh my God, what a little baby man. He's like, somebody has to go in the car with me. What, you can't drive by yourself? You need somebody to hold your dick while you drive or something like that? He'd probably love that. Let's not give him any ideas. This is so pathetic. I'd expect nothing less, though. The tantrum keeps on for a while until finally some of the people who had not left yet agree to make the 45 extra minutes ride to Ginger's house. Here you go, little baby. Let's all adjust our schedules for you. He's like, hey, you guys want to go and do this fun thing? And everybody's like, yeah, that sounds fun. And he's like, let me make it the least amount of fun possible. God, I hate it. Eventually, we do arrive at the beach, and soon more people start to arrive. But since Ginger had left almost 2 hours later than everybody else, we were stuck outside, chilly and hungry. And hungry for chili. Like I said, he's gonna make this the least amount of fun possible. It sounds like a great idea, I guess, if you're young and want to party, but not with this guy. Come on, not with this guy. When Ginger finally arrives, he goes straight up to boyfriend, and he starts yelling like crazy about how shitty of a friend he is, and how he never should have invited him to the beach house. And he goes on and on for a while, saying that because of him, nobody wanted to meet in the city house first. Oh, is that how you see that? Well, let me set the record straight for you, you little manlet. Go ahead, go off. Who cares if you can't spend time in the beach house? Go get a hotel. That's what hotels are for. The hotel parties, they're always lit because you can fucking break stuff and nobody has to worry about it or clean it up. I mean, somebody has to pay for it, but it ain't gonna be me. I don't sign off on any of that. Behave yourselves if you're visiting somebody else's property. Unless they're Ginger. And by that, I don't mean like redheaded people. I mean specifically the subject of this story in particular, okay? God damn it. I gotta be very specific these days. Boyfriend got angry. Yeah, go off! Logically, and I had to go after him to convince him that fighting Ginger was not really worth it. Do it! Do it! And that if he was lending us all his house, then we should be grateful and not think too much about Ginger's stupidity. No, no, no. You're placating him at that point. He thinks that because this is his house, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And I think beating the crap out of him is a good way to send the message that, no, you can't. It might be your house. I might get kicked out afterwards, but I'm definitely beating that ass. I told him to let me take the blame and to tell him that I'm super awkward and that I got really needy and pushy about boyfriend picking me up from my house in order to calm Ginger down because he was still fuming and not letting anyone enter the house. Bro, like I said, let's go. Leave this idiot here to throw his little tantrum all by himself. We could find somewhere else to party. Let's walk down the beach a ways and start a bonfire. You know what I'm saying? Stop placating him. That's the reason why he is the way that he is, isn't it? God damn. Boyfriend reluctantly agrees to say this lie, but as he does, Ginger only gets angrier and angrier. Finally, boyfriend is forced to say sorry. Nobody really understood what he should be sorry for, though, and we finally get inside. You guys are bending over backwards just because of a house? Fuck all this. I'm not doing none of this. Boyfriend and some other guys start working on the barbecue, and I stay on the side talking to other people and just overall having a good time. Ginger was pouting in the corner. After a while, boyfriend calls me over to tell me that our food is ready. Usually each person brings whatever they want to eat, and he told me to come over and cut up the meat while he goes to wash. While I'm doing so, I feel Ginger lurking behind me. Oh God, he's still a creep. You've placated him, he feels an inflated sense of power, and now it is time to creep. Hey, I say, trying to make some small talk, despite still being pissed at him for yelling at my boyfriend. Your house is really nice. Now I know why everybody keeps talking about it. Ginger just points at the food that I'm cutting.
That is badly cooked.
I don't care. Let me tell you how I like my meat. Cooked by not you. However you cook it, I'm gonna think it's bad. However my significant other cooks it, I'm gonna think it's good. That's just how the universe works, okay? I shrug, since it's clearly not. Just a little bit red on the inside. Yeah, I love red. Make it bleed on the plate. That's what I'm talking about. I guess it is a little raw on the inside, but I don't mind. I prefer a little redness than like overcooked meat, you know?
Boyfriend's such a terrible cook, and that meat is such bad quality. I would never let you eat something so plain and disgusting.
Yep, that's Ginger's big play right there. He's like, I would buy you better meat, and I would totally cook it better. Oh, take me now. I feel my I feel my pants just starting to slide right off because of you and your proclivity for nice meats. Oh my God, dude. Please stop. Please stop.
I've been doing barbecue since I was 9.
You imagine a little 9-year-old out there with the chef's hat on, little kiss the cook apron. His mommy comes up and says, "You're doing such a great job, little Ginger." And he's like, "Thanks, Mom." When really all he's doing is flipping a couple pieces of charcoal on the fucking grill. But everybody's like, "Oh yeah, looks great. That's delicious." We can't be honest enough with our children to tell them that they fucked something up, right? That's not the culture that we're living anymore, right? I do. I'm not as blunt, like, you know, my daughter will show me a drawing and I'm like, yeah, that hand looks a little messed up. The arm's too short. Otherwise, it looks great. I really like what you did with the eyes and the hair. You know what I mean? Just blend some compliments and criticisms together. But don't just endlessly compliment, or else you end up with a child like Ginger, who thinks that he can literally do no wrong, who thinks that his barbecue skills will win him a girlfriend right out from under her boyfriend's nose. God, this is pathetic. After that, it was just like a huge monologue of how he did
such excellent barbecues
and what and why boyfriend was such a shitty cook. Yes, the most excellent barbecues.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Finally, boyfriend comes over and I have an excuse to get out of such an odd conversation. It really is an odd conversation, isn't it? The crazy part to me is that he thinks it's gonna work. He's convinced that this is the angle that is gonna win him a girlfriend. And it ain't. The rest of the night goes on like that. Ginger's comments getting progressively worse the more he drinks. God, why are you still in his house? Why is anybody here? Oh great, he's got a nice house. I don't care. I'd rather go hang out in the park than hang out with this fucking guy. Around 2 a.m., he starts joking about boyfriend to anybody who would listen to him. This is how you get punched in the face. He's gonna get punched in the face, right? Because this is how you get punched in the face. I'm not an idiot, and I know boyfriend had a bit of a party boy past in the few years and had tried some hard drugs before, which is one of the reasons that we had never dated before. So he's telling jokes about him being addicted to drugs. It seems kind of in poor taste, but I guess he's drunk and clutching at whatever straws he can get. If we start dunking on Ginger, the dunking's never gonna stop. But luckily, most people are goodly enough to not do that. Or maybe it's not that they're goodly enough, but they just want to use his house and his things so they don't dunk on him. Just a pretty shitty take, all things considered. Go ahead, tell him the truth. Tell him why nobody likes him. It's what he needs to hear. It's for his own good, honestly. We talked about his past, boyfriend and I, and agreed that while I'm not his mom, I'm not interested in seeing him in such a state or in being part of such a lifestyle. So if he wishes to do recreational drugs, he will do so only when I'm not around. Like weed? Was he just smoking some weed? That's fine. But party drugs, yeah. If you're taking X and dropping acid and stuff like that, that is difficult to watch if you're not participating in the party lifestyle. I've seen a couple videos of myself on acid and it's sad looking. I'm like, Jesus, man. I'm half terrified for myself and half really sad. So I don't do that anymore. I don't do nothing anymore. Just smoke some cigarettes now and then. Every day. Forever. We were both happy with this arrangement, since boyfriend assured me that he is beyond those things. Ginger, however, kept bringing up the topic and just wouldn't shut up about it, and kept turning to me to ask my thoughts on the matter. Yeah, still taking his little jibs and jabs. Somebody punch him in the mouth. Please! Please! That's the only way to make it stop! Boyfriend was uncomfortable, and I was just overall pissed. So we both left and started talking to other people. Oh, I had so much hope that they were like, we left the party, we left his house. We encouraged everybody else to leave with us because we don't want to hang around his shitbag all night. But he has a nice house. It's fine. I don't need that. Ginger keeps talking about it for a little while longer, but eventually he manages to change the topic. Yeah, because the person that he was trying to impress walked away. Right. Around 5 a.m., I was tipsy and tired, but overall good. And I was talking to my friends about some book that we read when we were in high school together, and mostly just agreeing how it was a masterpiece, and we were not able to appreciate it when we were younger. Ginger, despite not having read that book, butts into our conversation to say that both the book and the author were shit, and he read much better things in his life than the four of us combined. I was, as I said, tipsy, and just decided to laugh it off. Stop laughing it off, okay? Stop giving him a pass. Eventually, he needs to hit a wall and learn that this behavior is not okay. Not everybody out there is gonna tolerate it. Eventually, you're gonna mouth off to the wrong fucking one, and tonight is the night. Boom! I would love to see it. He would learn a valuable life lesson. I'm not even saying like, kick the crap out of him. Just jack him once in the jaw. And he will have learned so much. You are kidding, right? I did, after all, have a major in literature. God, do you even know what you're talking about? In my opinion, that came out as friendly and joking, but Ginger went pale. I mean, it wasn't really that jokey. You probably shouldn't have made it come out jokey either. Just make him feel like an idiot because he's acting like a fucking idiot. And this is a better way to go than actually, striking another person. So good. I'm proud of you, OP. He's hit the wall. Here we go. The fireworks start again. I thought he was gonna start yelling at me as he had done with boyfriend, but after a while of really terse silence, he just went away and proceeded to take drink after drink. Oh boy. That's not gonna solve the issue now, is it? Half an hour later, boyfriend and I went to sleep because we were really tired and it was crazy late. We woke up the next morning relatively early and went to the first floor to have breakfast. It was probably not in the morning, right? You stayed up till 5:30 drinking. Next morning was actually 2 in the afternoon, which is what I do, and I don't even drink. So who's it more sad for? Me, I guess. In the living room, we find Ginger passed out, and one of my friends with a face that screamed, "Just kill me, please." She told me that Ginger got really pushy, and that after we left, he didn't want anyone to go to sleep, and that he kept on giving them more and more drinks, and that he just passed out 15 minutes ago, and had not let any one of the others go to sleep all night long. God, he's so clingy and horrible and weird. What? I guess we all learned a lesson, right? He's got a nice house, but nobody's partying with this guy again, right? Come on, you guys. Jesus. A good thing about all this is Ginger spent all Saturday morning sleeping off his hangover, and the rest of us had a lovely day at the beach. Aw, what if he like died in his sleep, you know? Aspirated on his own vomit, and everybody's just down at the beach. Maybe that's too dark. It does make me giggle though. After midday, some of the guys go buy lunch for all of us, and we return to the house to eat. And Ginger revives from his drunken slumber to have lunch with us. Oh, he smelled that food. He's a chubby boy at heart. He's like, oh, food. Yes, that's right, Ginger. Damn. At the end, everybody picks up their dishes, and I offer to wash some of them since I'm one of the people who went to buy it, and some of the other girls join me. The kitchen is super small though, and we all have to take turns. I start washing the dishes, and Ginger immediately enters the kitchen when I'm all alone. God, he was biding his time. Isn't that creepy? Ugh. Oh no! Where's boyfriend? He's at the beach? This is bad. Grab a kitchen knife. You must defend yourself. He starts talking about his house and asking me how I liked it. And I told him a little about what a great day we had at the beach. Before he leaves the room, however, he kind of mutters how it's
such a lovely sight to have a pretty girl in the kitchen working for him.
I yelled, "What?" But he had already left. I was fuming, but I decided not to pay him any attention. Misogyny! Good God, dude. Why don't you hire like a maid or something like that if that's really all you're after with all of mommy and daddy's money, right? And then you could say probably whatever you want because she doesn't even speak English. She probably speaks enough English to hear what you just said, but she doesn't want to speak back because she's embarrassed. It's like I do with Tagalog, you know? I understand most things, but I don't know how to say anything back. So I just say, "What?" instead of "ano," and the maid would say, "Ke?" Ke? Oh my God, dude. Instead of any of that happening, hopefully he could like learn to be a decent person, but as the story's been going so far, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen either. Oh, he's hopeless. When I returned to the living room, boyfriend had left with some other guys to go and play soccer, so I decided to stay talking to some of the people who were still in the house and grabbed an empty random chair. Everything was going fine until Ginger returned. I know it's your house, but why do you have to be here all the time?
You're sitting on my chair,
he says as he stands next to me. There are at least 5 other chairs free right next to me, so others take it as a joke and answer accordingly. Well, actually, every chair in the house is yours, I tried to joke. So I guess it doesn't really matter where I sit. OP. Stop placating him. You did good with the book thing last night. Let's continue on that route, especially after he was a creep to you in the kitchen. Do you not feel the need to strike out, hit back? Come on, he deserves it. Now he's gonna get that overinflated sense of power once again, and I hate it.
That's right. All the chairs are mine,
He says smugly.
I could lend you a chair if you sit on my lap, though.
Jesus, dude. Jesus. I wonder if he actually thought this is gonna work. I mean, he had to have. But the shamelessness of it is just, it's shocking. It leaves me speechless. You know her boyfriend's here, right? He's outside playing soccer, right? God, he just needs to get slapped. Not verbally slapped, I mean literally slapped. And then he'll start thinking twice. Be like, oh yeah, last time I said something like that, I got slapped in the mouth. I tried to laugh it off, but he was dead serious. And he kept standing next to me and staring. Nobody knows how to react. And it is so uncomfortable that I can barely stand it. No, but for real, this is a horrible situation to put somebody else in. He's like, you have to sit on my lap now. And she's like, I'm telling you, a backhand would relieve the tension in no time at all. Whap! I'm not gonna do that, fucko. And then he's like, oh, okay. I learned today. See, I'm all about teaching. And pain is a really good teacher sometimes. Eventually, I give him back his chair and just sit on the armchair of a sofa next to one of my girlfriends to feel safer. You're in his house, you'll never be safe. You have to leave. Most of the people are talking about returning to the beach, and since I don't feel like it, I decide to go take a shower. Oh no. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah!
Go back to the beach, even if you don't want to. You have to, just to be safe. Take a shower in this obvious fucking creep's house? OP, you should be safe. You know what I mean? But it's quite obvious that you're not 100% safe. So I don't know if I would go the shower route. Please, come on. I just hope that this doesn't take like a really dark turn. This is giving me some Wheezy Beard vibes right now. Remember when Wheezy Beard tried to break down the shower door because he said that OP was drowning? Funny, but also horrifying. And I'm just hoping that the same thing does not happen. So I was already in the shower when someone knocks on the door violently. Deep breath. Scaring the living shit out of me. Now, the house has 5 or 6 bathrooms for all the people that it can host. So I'm not really worried about someone urgently needing the bathroom. I just say, I'm in here. I'll be out in a minute. Sure that if anybody really needs to go, they'll just pick another bathroom. The person outside just kept banging on the door like crazy. I'm so uncomfortable, dude. No. Can we stop the story now? All right, see y'all next time. No, it's written, and so it shall be done. Deep breath, it's gonna be fine. I thought boyfriend had returned to the house from the soccer match and was just trying to prank me, so I just laughed and said, haha, fuck off, boyfriend. Are you... how are you not feeling like a sense of danger right now? We all know who it is, right? Are you just like convincing yourself that it's your boyfriend and able to be able to laugh it off? I would be horrified. I'd be taking the shower rod off and like ready to beat somebody over the head with it. You know what I'm saying? Prepare. Defensive positions now. They kept banging on the door and I started to get pissed. Thankfully, I remembered to bring my fresh clothes with me into the bathroom, so I get out as quickly as I can and get changed, determined to give boyfriend a piece of my mind. But when I get out, there's no one there. Ooh, creepy. There's no one in the room that I share with boyfriend either. And overall, there is nobody on the second floor. Ooh, you should have gone to the beach, OB. We're safer at the beach. Except a couple of friends who were taking a nap, and they'd been asleep since before I went into the bathroom. Most of the people that were in the living room had already left for the beach, as they said they would, except for a couple of them who were playing cards on the table, and boyfriend and the other guys had not returned from the soccer match yet. All of them busy. All except Ginger, sitting in the living room, doing nothing. Like the true creep that he is, just sitting there staring at the wall, waiting for you to come out of the bathroom. Hello, Clarice. God, stop it. I know it's your house, but I'm going to burn it down. I'm going to burn this whole thing down and then everything will be over. Can we lock him inside while we burn it down? I could swear it was him, obviously, but really didn't know who else to blame. I couldn't openly blame him, though, so I just let it pass. Openly blame him! Why can you not openly blame him? Hey, some fucking freak was knocking on the bathroom door. Was it you? Because it seems like it would be you. You've been creepy the entire time I've been here. You're making me really regret not going to the beach. Just lambast him, for God's sake. We're past the point of niceties, are we not? It was extremely weird, and I'm still sure it was Ginger. I don't know what he expected to happen, though. Scare me? Was he hoping that I would open the door? I have absolutely no idea. I don't want to think about it. It could have gone a lot worse. He probably has a key to the fucking house and just popped the door open, but he didn't do that. Thank God. Or maybe he couldn't find the key. I don't know, man. This is a bad situation. I need OP to grow a spine right quick and just like lay it down flat. Like, I never liked you. I will never like you. You're a fucking creep. I don't even want to be in your house because you make everybody here uncomfortable. You have this false sense of power, this inflated sense of ego, and that is why nobody wants to be your friend. The only reason any of us are here is because you got a nice house, and even that isn't holding water long enough to make us actually want to stay inside of it with you. You see everybody down on the beach? Nobody likes you. Just balls to the wall. Stab him right in the heart. When the boys returned from soccer, I sat with boyfriend and the others and started talking a little about everything and nothing at the same time. And the topic eventually became how terrible traffic had been in the 2 days ago since it had been Valentine's Day. Oh, that's why he's being so clingy and needy and weird, Ginger, because it was Valentine's Day. And now he's like, somebody has to drive with me to the beach. Everybody has to stay up all night and drink with me because I'm so lonely. Probably should have been mentioned earlier. I mean, it doesn't really give him a pass for anything that happens, but I guess it does explain why the idiosyncrasies are so severe on these days in particular. We didn't even talk about Valentine's Day itself, just about the traffic. I commented about a photo that had gone viral of a very well-known flower shop that had such a massive line to get in that it went around the whole block, and Ginger lost his shit, as he tends to do. He yelled something about being inconsiderate fucks and stormed off. Let me explain something to you, Ginger. Nobody knows what's going on inside of your head, okay? I'm sure they were being inconsiderate if they could mind read, but unfortunately nobody here can read minds, so nobody's being inconsiderate. We don't know that you're sitting there seething about Valentine's Day or flowers. But at least he stormed off. Maybe we can keep him stormed off. About 2 hours later, he kicked us all out of the house because he found someone was hosting a party in the city called Fucklentine's Day. Now that's clever. That's a great naming scheme. Is this like a rumor or something? It sounds like something you hear about in high school, you know? At the Holiday Inn, they have Valentine's Day. You go over there, there's just like chicks waiting, bro. Okay. Good luck. Jesus. So we all had to leave since he was definitely leaving to go to said party. And so our weekend was cut short. But good gracious, at least I did not have to spend another day in the same house as Ginger. TLDR, a guy that was convinced he had a shot with me invites a group of friends over to his beach house, freaks out when he finds out I'm dating one of said friends and coming with them, and then proceeds to weirdly try and flirt with me and bring down my boyfriend for the entire duration of the time that we stayed there. Yes, yes! This is primo nice guy behavior, and I love it. I really am disappointed that nobody fucking gave him what for and just laid down the law, because that's really what this dude needs. Obviously, nobody has done that with him before. Not his parents, not his peers, because he has stuff. Oh, all this cool stuff that we can use if we don't tell him the truth. If you guys were real friends, you would tell him the truth. I guess I can't blame OP as much because she sort of only knows him in passing, I guess, but all of the other members of the friend group, fake as fuck. But I guess, what do I expect from a bunch of college kids? They're all just out there using each other anyways. I know what I'm calling the next V-Day party I host. Yeah, everybody come on down to Valentine's Day. So dumb. I do have a question, though. Do you think that Valentine's Day is real? Do you believe in it? Santa come sliding up your chimney. You know what I'm saying? Saint Valentine. Oh, God. I'm glad we got out of this story okay. There were some moments, particularly the shower moments, that really creeped me out. I had some extremely bad, sussy vibes, but it seemed to have turned out okay, I guess. I still don't know why you didn't point at Ginger and be like, that's the guy that was knocking on the door while I was in the bathroom. What's wrong with you, guy? Breaches the social contract? Whatever. I'm not a big advocate of the social contract. All it really does is make us do things that we don't want to do anyways. I say break it. Especially if you're drunk enough. Then double plus break it. Just me and him. Alone in his dorm. No. Wait. Nice guy lies about group study session. Oh, you already, just from the title, you know he's just trying to lure her over to his house. Oh yeah, everybody's gonna be here. And she shows up and dude is like, well, I guess nobody else showed up. It's just you and me. Want to drink some vodka?
2 shots of vodka.
Wow, this is the creepiest date I've ever incidentally been on. Just paints a whole picture in my head just from the title. And that's beautiful. So thank you, Looking Cool Karu. Karu. How you say that? Close enough. I've kept this story to myself for the longest, with only my friend knowing what happened. Oh God, I hope it doesn't get too dark. But now I have just said fuck it and decided to make this post. Well, good for you. You know, embracing passive indifference is the way to true happiness in life. I'm pretty sure about that. Now, probably, like most on here, I don't really know if this guy was a nice guy, but I got the vibe that he was. I can almost 100% just from the title guarantee his nice guy status. Sorry if this is written like shit, because it was a long time ago. Look for the multiple asterisks to where the title finally gets mentioned. Oh, we're gonna get one of those they finally said it moments, just like a Family Guy. Be like, oh, This isn't the Fast and the Furious. This is Too Fast, Too Furious. Oh, he said it.
I don't have friends. I got family.
TLDR, Nice Guy invited me to a group study session in his dorm room, leading to him giving me a therapy session on why I should be straight. Oh, that's not quite what I thought it was. Also, TLDR is supposed to go at the end, but I'm kind of glad it's up front. This is what we can brace ourselves for. There was only about 5% studying and like 95% me watching his shitty YouTube videos. That's always how it be whenever anybody comes over to my house too. They're like, can we put the TV on and watch a movie? I'm like, how about we watch some ReddX content? And they're like, didn't you record this? And I'm like, yeah, but it's pretty good though, right? This is worth a rewatch, right? None of that's true. I don't have people over to my house. So now for a little bit of background info. It was my freshman year of college, second semester, and I, 18 female at the time, was getting all of my general education classes finished. Me and this nice guy, who we'll call Marcus. Marcus? Okay. You get to name him. I had no hand in this. We had the same math class together, so in the beginning I had no interaction with Marcus until the week before spring break. Our professor kept mentioning how during the week we had to have class on Friday, so don't think about missing class just because of spring break. So of course, me, the dumb fuck who was shit at math, didn't want to miss a single class, and like usual, came in early to a dead building with barely anyone there, of course. And here is where it all began. Yeah, who's gonna listen to the professor, bro? You have to come in, ignore spring break. Nah, I don't think so. We don't get many spring breaks in our lives. Why am I gonna skip out on that to go to math class? Eat a dick! I think everybody else had the right idea. OP, well, in theory you made the right decision on paper, but it's going to have some unforeseen repercussions. I can tell you that much. So, Marcus came in, and we greeted each other since we were the only two in the class at the moment. Nerds! To describe him, Marcus was a mixed guy, very average in the face, would always wear a trench coat, and instead of using a backpack, he literally would use a suitcase. We are bleeding over into neckbeard territory so fast. I bet he thinks he's like looking super dapper. He's like, look at my trench coat and suitcase. The ladies are gonna fawn all over this. Oh, Marcus, please stop. Everything was quiet until he started talking to me with the usual chatting about class and how annoying the quizzes were, etc., until he asked me what I do as a hobby. No, he's trying to make a connection. Shut this down. Tell him you don't have a hobby. I sit home and stare at the wall for hours on end. I have no personality. Please leave me alone. I'm not interesting. Unless you want to talk about drywall, I got nothing to say to you. Because you know this dude don't know nothing about drywall, right? Boy ain't never hung some sheetrock in his life. I mentioned listening to music, like everybody does, doing art, like super talented people do, and what probably got him excited, playing video games. You should have stopped at the first two. I don't know why you felt the need to carry on. This is not good. You can tell just by looking at him that he's gonna flip his shit. A girl who plays video games, boy. Marcus, no. We then talked about video games, like consoles and shit, and I thought that it was cool, thinking that I made a college friend. Oh, P, my sweet summer child. You can tell a lot about a book by its cover, as I've come to find out. Marcus, he might have been a legitimately cool guy that just happened to carry a briefcase and wear a trench coat, but doing those things would give me a very large oddball alert, and I would approach him with a lot of trepidation. He asked me what my hobbies are. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about that. You prove to me that you're not weird before I start opening up to you. How about that? Flip the conversation around, ask him about himself, and then you find out if he's truly worth getting to know. But I guess maybe these are all things that you learn when you're older. In college, yeah, I was pretty desperate to reach out to some people. My quote-unquote best friend in math class is the guy that sold me acid the first, few times that I did it. He was an oddball, but he turned out to be pretty cool. Until you get past the oddball alert, as far as you're concerned, my hobbies are watching paint dry and watching grass grow. Oh, God. I don't want it. It's already giving me creepy vibes. So we continued talking until more people started coming in. And of course, we received an email that the professor canceled class. What a dickhead, dude. That's so funny. Don't you dare skip class for spring break. Actually, class is canceled. Haha, bing bong, fuck your life. God damn, that is hilarious. The professor, automatically most likable dude in the story. He's just fucking with all the students on purpose. Jesus. We walked out together since we lived in the dorms that were right next to each other as I listened to him talk about video games. Yes, video games are my whole personality. Wow, that's great. Please don't talk to me anymore. We parted ways after exchanging contacts, another mistake, and we said how we should play Cuphead together one day. Oh, God. Are you guys ready for Cuphead? It is easier with 2 players, I think. But yeah, that's the type of game that's really gonna test your newly formed friendship. It was only when spring break was over, and that is when everything sort of just fell to shit. So you guys had a lovely spring break together. I guess that's nice. You know, you got a college friend and stuff. Things apparently didn't get too weird yet. But the yet part is what scares me. Coming back from spring break, I started sitting with Marcus at the lounge area outside of our class. Like usual, we would talk about video games, but a trend started that I dreaded every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He would just never let me talk at all. Maybe you should talk to him about it. Oh, wait, you can't even talk to him about it because he just keeps going. He would go on and on and on and on about video games, and whenever I tried to give my input into the conversation, he would just cut me off and continue talking. That does sound annoying as shit. This friendship is not gonna last very long. Did you not notice that he was doing this during spring break? Is this like a recent development since he came back to school? And if it is a recent development, what brought this on? I've got a lot of questions. He wasn't even talking to me anymore. It was like he was talking at me, which we've seen a whole heck of a lot. I'm very introverted, so it's usual for me to just listen to people talk, but there is a limit when I'm now just coming to class early only in order to hear you endlessly talk. And this went on for days. I mean, send him a text message or something. This kind of loops back into the Pizza Hut beard stuff. People setting aside their own humanity in order to placate people who don't really deserve it at the end of the day. You know, how are you going to ride in the back seat of your own life? I don't want to listen to you talk. Guess what? I ain't going to listen to you talk. Fuck out of here. Stop showing up early to class. He texts you like, where are you? You're just like, I don't want to show up and just hear you talk about stupid video games, all right? Maybe that's a reality check. Maybe some people say you're a little harsh, but I see it as a much needed reality check. There are like 2 scenarios before the event mentioned in the title that made me uncomfortable, but my dumbass didn't get the signs that he was blatantly giving me. I just wanted a friend. Shaking my head. I mean, you got a friend, it just wasn't the friend that you were looking for. So now it's time to end the friendship, am I right? It's over, we tried. It's not working out. It's not just for relationships anymore. Break up with your friends, who cares? Just because they were in your life for a second doesn't mean they have to be there forever. Goodbye! Goodbye, everybody! So the first scenario was when we were walking back to our dorms after meeting up at the cafeteria. We were just talking until Marcus asked me if I had a boyfriend because he didn't want no misunderstanding. You already know what he's after, if the question even has to come up, right? I told him that he didn't have to worry since I didn't have a boyfriend and also I was gay. He replied back with, "Oh, I should have known with that haircut." Oh, Marcus, you coming at a woman's haircut? Don't do it. Unless you're like trying to make an enemy, trying to cut him real deep. The hair conversation, that's not a conversation you want to have, friend. He pointed at my pixie cute cut. Yeah, so original. I just laughed it off. Ooh, you probably shouldn't laugh it off either. It's going to be a much less awkward conversation if you address it like immediately, right? The conversation soon started talking about my weight for some reason, where I mentioned that I was 135 pounds. He then was like, where does all that weight go? Oh, there it is. Now pointing at my ass and thighs. Jesus Christ. Don't tell me you laughed this one off too. This is like war. He's initiating war, trying to neg you into a relationship. Either way, it's not going to turn out well. This friendship is over. Thank you so much for the spring break that we had where I guess none of this was going on, but you're obviously overstepping your bounds at this point. It's time to go. I don't know why I didn't stop hanging out with this motherfucker because that was really goddamn cringy. Like usual, I tried to laugh it off and continued walking to the dorms with him. Stop laughing it off. Stop. There's no reason to. You can be upset about things. You can address a situation that makes you uncomfortable. Laughter is great. I depend on laughter a whole hell of a lot to get through stories like this. But the truth is, in real life, if somebody says some shit like that to me, you're gonna hear about it. We are going to have words over it. You know, might start with a laugh while I formulate a plan of attack. I'll be like, heh heh, but really that was fucked up though, and I don't think we should be friends anymore. And then he's like, ooh, no, why? And I'm like, no. Why? Why should we be friends? I'm checking out. It's over. I don't owe you a goddamn thing. Ugh, Jesus. The second scenario was around the time when the whole iDubbbz and Keemstar N-word thing was going on. Oh, what's that? A little bit of internet drama? Super interesting. Please tell me more. No, don't. I don't know what you're talking about for a reason, and I don't care to fill up my brain with a non-debate like that. Thank you very much. When we were walking together to take our math quiz, which we had to go to a separate building in order to take it, I don't know why we just couldn't do it in our own, like in your own dorm room or in the original math building. Because if it's in the original math building, maybe the other building is where the proctors are. And if it's in your dorm room, obviously you can't do that because you might cheat. It's a quiz. You can't cheat on the quiz. Whatever. Non-issue as far as I'm concerned. Again, me being a black person and him being half black, I asked him his thoughts on the situation. Now, to be clear, that's the iDubbbz Keemstar situation, not the math quiz situation. Written a little bit confusing there. Now, I wish that he had just replied with a simple,
I think that shit's fucked up. I don't think white people should ever say that word ever.
But no. Please, believe me on this. He decided he wanted to impress me by going off about
how this one time in high school where they were talking about slavery in class, and this one kid was like, I don't think slavery was that bad. And so Marcus supposedly got up in the middle of class and told him, well, what if I took your whole family away from their home and brutally beat them and forced them to work for me for the rest of their life and the next generations onward?
And then telling me to my face that everyone in the class clapped and security was called on that white kid. You getting some r/that happened posts in real life? That's beautiful. Also has absolutely nothing to do with the question that was asked. Is this word bad versus is slavery bad? I suppose some people could have two different answers to the question. I think they're both bad. I think most people would agree with that, but I don't know. Why is this even a debate? Have you guys run out of video games to talk about or something? This is dumb as hell. To this day, I pray that he was joking, because there is no way he seriously thought saying that everyone clapped somehow made him a badass. He never said,
just kidding, nobody clapped.
But I honestly wish that he did. I mean, you never called him out on it, so he's like, hey,
she believes me.
Oh my god, bro. This is about the cringiest thing ever. You want a little bit of r/that happened in your nice guy story? Oh, make sure to mix it well. Goes down smooth every time. Even if everybody clapped wasn't included in the story, you can still pretty much tell that the story is complete bullshit, right? It's the everybody clapped part that really sends it over the top. Oh, honestly, I wouldn't be hanging out with this dude at all ever. But this is just like the clincher, you know what I mean? Now you're lying to basically the only person that has agreed to be your friend. Why? Why? You obviously ain't gotta lie to kick it. We were hanging out before this fake ass story popped up. Just stop it, dude. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
As the semester was getting closer to ending, there was one more of those fucking quizzes in the separate building that we had to take. And everyone was stressing out over it, me included. So when Marcus came up to me mentioning something about a study group to help us out, I of course agreed to it. Oh yeah, study group, just like in that show Community. You ever see that? So Marcus wanted to
gather a group of people who took the class seriously to help each other out.
You're going to let him handpick the study group? What could possibly go wrong? Oh man, I got a sinking feeling. I got excited because Marcus was friends with the smartest guy in the class, who literally always did well on the exams, and plus I needed all the help that I could get when it came to math, trying to stay on the dean's list. Oh, so you're like one of the smart people that's just like, oh, I'm failing the class if I don't get an A. I did actually flunk out of like basic algebra, okay? I'm legitimately bad at math. You gotta step your bad math game up, OP. So Marcus told me that he wanted to have a group study session in his dorm room. I don't remember the specific weekday, and I agreed to it. Yeah, it's a group study session. What could possibly go wrong? Oh wait, remember the title? Everything could go wrong. Don't do it, OP! Run!
Run, bitch!
Now, being a 23-year-old, looking back, the red flags were flying high as hell. Having a group study session in his dorm room when the library is only a fucking walk away with rooms specifically made for group sessions. Yeah, maybe he just wanted to play some super cool video games afterwards or something like that. But yeah, at 18, I guess things aren't quite as clear. At 23, things are clearer, but still, you're not functioning at maximum capacity. At least I wasn't. Probably because I was like just out of the Navy and drinking a whole lot. I don't know. Trying to put myself in your shoes, I definitely would have fallen for it at 18. I probably would have fallen for it at 23. Generally, I tend to take people at their word. I don't second guess a whole lot of stuff. At least I did a lot less back then. But little 18-year-old me was blinded by the thought of being in a group study session, helping each other. Yeah, that sounds so good on paper. I grabbed my notebook, laptop, and some food since I hadn't eaten at all that day. Jesus, take care of yourself. What's up with this? Even if it's some ramen noodles for breakfast, you just pull it out of the package, dump a little powder on it, and crunch it up in your mouth. That's good. You gotta keep some of the calories flowing. So I meet up with Marcus outside of his dorm, and he signs me in. Nobody else in sight for this group study session. Just me and him, alone, in his dorm. No. Wait. Yeah, it's about time to call that shit out. Even walking into the lobby, you're like, where's everybody else? You're out here waiting for me specifically? Seems a little bit sus. Actually, I forgot. I gotta go feed my fish, or buy a fish and then feed it, or light my cat on fire. Anything but this. I wish I said something about it, since he kept saying that we'd study as a group, but I ended up not saying anything. OP, come on. You're victimizing yourself by avoiding a tough conversation. Like I told Pizza Hut Beards OP yesterday, one tough conversation can save you thousands of extremely more awkward conversations. You know what I mean? It's best to just nip this in the bud. Be like, so the whole group study thing was just bullshit, right? just be as blunt as possible. I find that it works more often than not. And if you're scared to do that while you're alone in the room, yeah, find an excuse to leave. Bring it up later in public. It's definitely not worth the pain to continue being friends with this guy. Ugh. So it started out normal, getting all our stuff set up. We were just studying, doing some homework while he played his music, until I would say like 5 minutes later, and he wanted to take a break and watch some YouTube videos. This boy got no fucking fire in his belly. 5 minutes later, he's belly aching. Oh, let's take a break. Oh, let's watch some videos. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you here to study or not? I'd be more productive if I study on my own. Goodbye. That's the line. Go ahead, say it. Try it out. It's good for you. I was honestly getting into the groove, and I was having fun, since I was finally understanding how to do the problems. But, nope. Marcus wanted me to watch some shitty YouTube videos, so he had to pull my laptop away from me. You just manhandled my laptop. You don't touch my laptop. You want to watch shitty YouTube videos? You go right ahead, but you do not interrupt me. I am here to study. Some people might call it Karen status, whatever, but you know why people don't like Karens? Because they get their way. Sometimes it is time to be a Karen. I will be the first to admit that to you right now. I had a feeling this was gonna be a shit show because I had no intention of just hanging out with him. If he told me that he just wanted to hang out and study a little, then okay, that would be fine, but you already lied about setting up a group. He never mentioned anything about a group during and after this whole thing happening. Yeah, so he knew he was full of shit. And by you not calling him out, you've just enabled it. You're like, yes, it's okay if you lie to me. And you should value yourself more than that. I hope at 23 you do value yourself more than that, OP. That's a really shitty situation to get put into, but if it happens, then you need to push your way back out of it and be like, no, I'm not gonna sit here for this. This is not okay. I get it, you're young, it's awkward, but if you don't start pushing back now, then the world is gonna keep pushing you around until you start pushing back. Sad, but true. That's just how it is. And so yeah, now you're beginning to lie about the studying part of this study group. Lied about the group part, lied about the study part. I turned the other cheek and played along with him. Oh, God. Oh. OP, please. I hope that the whole thing's not just like this, where she's like, yeah, I let him do basically whatever he wants and went along with it every single time. Because that's when it starts to turn and I'm like, yes, he's a bad person, but you're letting him get away with it. He can't keep getting away with it.
He can't keep getting away with it.
No offense to people that like these type of videos, but he was showing mostly screw attack videos. One being the Sephiroth versus Sub-Zero or Scorpion, I don't remember, and a bunch of other shit that was just not that interesting. Bro, I love death battles. Are you kidding me? I think they're really stupid. But it's kind of one of those like popcorn videos. You just throw it on, you're like, oh, let's learn some bullshit that doesn't actually matter about Thanatos versus whoever else. I have been guilty of binging those every once in a while. And yes, I have been known to make some content that some might consider not that interesting. But hey, the people that like it really like it. And I make it for them. I remember while watching his videos, I was eating my burger and fries, but after a while, I stopped eating to watch the videos. He had the audacity to grab the whole burger without asking and just take a bite. Damn, boy. Damn, boy. He's thick, boy. That's a thick-ass boy, boy.
Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy.
First you're manhandling the laptop, and now you are stealing my food while I'm watching. No, that's not okay. This sort of behavior is not even okay after like years of marriage, all right? The thing that wifey does, right? She puts her hand on my food and then looks at me and says, "Can I have a bite?" Like she's already halfway there. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. But she does always ask without fail. She'll grab it, but she asks as she's grabbing it. And I give her a pass on that. If she just grab it, took a big old bite out of nowhere, I would legitimately be like, what's the deal with that? I was eating that, if you weren't privy to that fact. Ugh. Are you really gonna make me eat this burger with a knife and a fork? And I'm not even using the knife and the fork for the burger. I'm using it to stab fingers that end up on my plate. You wanna come over here? All right. You risk the consequences then. Yes, I will fight about a fucking burger. I paid good money for that, especially as a college student. You ain't got that money to start with. Ugh. I remember being genuinely angry because I hate people who do that shit with a passion. He would also continue to poke me for some reason. Okay, pause. OP, did you say something about the burger? Or did you just sit there and fucking seethe while he finished the entire thing? Because I know where my money's at, and that is absolutely pathetic. Come on, grow that shiny spine. Get some spikes on you. I understand you want to be the friend and da-da-da-da-da, but he's not acting like a friend right now. He's stealing your shit and lying to you. I can't be a part of any of this, all right? Being tired of watching his videos, I slid his keyboard over to me, looking up the Monster Factory Fallout 4 playthrough. I was addicted to their content at the time. I remember him saying some shit like,
I never let anyone touch my keyboard.
See? Even he knows how to call out stuff that he's uncomfortable with. Or maybe he's trying to make it like a sensual thing. He's like,
only you get to touch the keyboard, m'lady.
Oh yes, this greasy cheese-covered keyboard. What a fucking treat. Thank you so much. Not even getting past the creation of Final Pam, he took the keyboard and changed to something else. Can't even watch what you want to watch. And again, OP's just gonna sit here and seethe. To start, I'll feel bad for you, but if you're just laying down, enduring it for no reason whatsoever, how long can you feel bad for somebody that continues to punch themselves in the face? Oh, the first few times, that's so sad. The 8th time, I'm like, why do you continue to do this? During all of this, his mom FaceTimed him, and he had to show that I was in the room, even though I was trying my best to stay away from the camera. Mom, look, a real girl's in my room. She's like cowering in the corner. Please, I just want to go home. That is hilarious. Also really, really sad. His mom was legitimately shocked that he actually had a girl in his room. I immediately shut down any sort of girlfriend shit that might have gone down. Well, there you go, OP. Your first time standing up for yourself, and I hope it feels good. I hope this is the start of something beautiful. I don't remember the last video that we watched, but I remember seeing a trash can on screen, and with my peak comedy, said, "Tag yourself, I'm the trash can." Terrible, I know. I used to watch Shane Dawson. Maybe I am too old for these videos now. What the fuck are you talking about? However, he suddenly got weirdly serious, telling me that I shouldn't say that to myself, and that I was beautiful. Oh yes, white knight all the way. The whole situation went from a group study session to me being forced to watch his videos to now a therapy session where he analyzes me. You can check out at any point. The door is right there. You don't even need a reason, honestly. You don't want to be his friend anymore, so why not just walk out? Fuck the social contract. I'm gone. This whole thing is over. Have a nice life, or don't. I don't care. It was just basic stuff that I already knew about, like my low self-esteem and some other shit. But to him, he felt like he was cracking some sort of secret code about my character. Or one of his general education, like basic classes, Psych 101. Because this is always what happens when somebody takes Psych 101. They'll try to analyze people around them. Realizing that psychology, basically, it's all wiffle waffle. It changes from year to year. Take your bubblegum armchair psychology, shove it up your ass, because it's generally not applicable to a significant portion of any population. He also started sitting in some weird position, the American Figure 4 seating position. Ah yes, the American Figure 4 seating position. Absolute peak of Psychology 101. He also started waving his index finger with every syllable. Make him stop! Say something! Why are you letting him do this? I felt really uncomfortable with the mood shift from watching funny videos to
let me read you with my 300 IQ brain.
He would say some stuff like,
usually when I meet people, I know everything about them. But you, OP, you're different.
Oh, classic line. You're not like other girls, OP. You like eating food and breathing air. Dude, what the hell are you on about? He continues talking some bullshit till he got to the part where suddenly, for some reason, he said that he didn't think that I should be gay. Yeah, thanks for your input, doctor, but go fuck yourself. It doesn't matter what you think I should be. There's people out there that don't think I should be a YouTuber, but you know what? I am. So chew on that. His reasoning is because the lesbian couple that he is supposedly friends with don't work out. They always fight. He feels as though some opposites attract bullshit applies when it comes to men and women being together. What are you talking about, bro? Yeah, okay, opposites do attract. Me and my wife, we are extremely different people, okay? At least if you look outwardly. But on the inside, yeah, we are much the same. We have a lot of the same mindset. We just execute our lives differently. She is very organized and clean and curious, whereas I am oblivious and messy and disorganized. I have a very carefree attitude, whereas she is deeply invested in basically everything that happens. She's got like some of her friends fighting and she's like, oh no, how can I fix this for them? And I'm over here like, why do you even give a shit? Not my circus, not my monkeys as far as I'm concerned. But those differences, yeah, that's why I love her. She can teach me to be a better person, to actually open myself up and at least try to care about some things. So yes, opposites do attract, but did you know that even within the same gender, there can be opposites? Wow. So maybe don't try and change somebody's sexual orientation, right? Are we all on the same page? Marcus ain't never gonna watch this. If he finds it, he's gonna be too uncomfortable. He won't even get to the end. Or, alternatively, he might be so oblivious, not realize it's talking about him at all, and he'd be like, hey, yeah, that guy's really cringe. It's you, you fool! You did this! Confused, I asked him how it's possible that gay men work out together. He replied with, I don't know, they talk about sports or something. Yeah. Guys talk about sports. That's how gay men exist. What do girls talk about? I don't know. Stereotypically girl shit by your logic. What do you mean? I'm glad this part of the post was saved for last because it's definitely the part that enrages me the most. Fucking wannabe psychologist over here. But anyways, he thought that I should try out being with guys before I try to be gay and make sure that I knew that he wasn't interested in me in any way. Even though he is trying to make me like dick instead of being with a woman. I guess it was just out of the goodness of his heart to convert me. Oh my god, bro. This is really the hill you want to die on? He's like, maybe you should just try dick out. Oh, wow, look, I have one right here. What a coinky dink. I know what you're doing, dude, and it's never gonna work. I'm pretty sure OP made it to college knowing 100% for sure that she likes girls. Why else would you risk the social ostracization that comes with homosexuality, right? If somebody say that they're a thing, how hard is it to just believe them? How hard is it to just be friends with somebody without any other expectation behind it? This guy, definite nice guy status, also bleeding over into neckbeard status. That is my final diagnosis. Wait, I gotta get my feet into the figure 4 sitting position before I give out my diagnosis. Maybe chew on the nub of my pencil and say, interesting. How does that make you feel? Please continue. The last thing I found weird that he did in his room was during the end of the therapy session. I like how we've just taken to calling it a therapy session. That's essentially what it is. He started talking about how
Introverts like ourselves have our own comfort space that we don't want people to invade. Like his bed.
why are you dragging your bed into the conversation?
He didn't like people in his personal comfort zone.
I replied, confused on how we even got here, with a simple, okay. It is quite a non sequitur. It's jarring even for me as a reader. And I found a way to say politely that I wanted to get the fuck out of this room and away from him. You should have done that so long ago. Don't even say a word. Just pick up your shit and walk out the door. Block him on everything. If he tries to talk to you in the halls, ignore him completely. You've been blocked IRL. After years of repeating this entire situation in my head, I have a theory that Marcus was trying to make a move on me. Well, no shit. He was trying to get me to do the opposite of what he said for me to get onto his bed.
What?
He learned about reverse psychology. He's like,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try that one out. He's like, don't get in my personal space. Don't get on my bed. I would totally hate that.
and OP's like, okay, I won't. I'm just gonna go home.
Psych 101, you failed me.
I feel as though he thought I would try and be an asshole and get on his bed and, like in some porn, ask, what you gonna do about it? Or some cringy shit. And then he'd try and get on top of me. It might be far-fetched, but I'm still confused to this day on why he suddenly started talking about his bed. I don't think you're far off the mark here, OP. He definitely had some duplicitous plan, and I wish that you would have pulled the plug on this one a lot sooner. I'm surprised you didn't end up chained up in a basement somewhere. This could have turned out a lot worse than it did. Luckily, you were able to get yourself out of the situation, and I guess he didn't try to pursue it any further. He took a fucking hint, and that in itself is a miracle. As I gathered my stuff and waited for the elevator, wanting to quickly go to my room and take a shower, I was looking at a picture in the hallway that reminded me of this game, Little Nightmare, which is pretty decent. I suddenly remembered that I was in my own Little Nightmare as he, unprovoked, started patting my head like some weird anime shit.
You fart your panties.
Oh, it's so weird, dude. He followed you out to the elevator and then patted your head? As soon as those elevator doors open, you better punch him in the fucking gut and hit the emergency close button. I'm not playing with this. I gave him a forced hug as he walked me all the way to my dorm. Oh, God, I hate it. You need to say something, OP. Or I guess just cut him off completely and hope that nobody ever brings it up again. Fingers crossed. I never felt so happy to go into my room and finish math homework by myself. After all this, he started sitting next to me in class, but I gave him the cold shoulder the whole time. Yep, blocked IRL. I wish that instead of ignoring him and him thinking that I was just some bitch, that I would instead try to talk to him alone and tell him to never repeat that shit that he did with me to any other woman. I mean, I do agree with that, but it isn't worth beating yourself up over, OP. What's done is done, and hopefully you're a stronger person for it. Hopefully this dude didn't try it with any other girls, and if he did, then hopefully that next girl kicked him right in the dick, or something like that. At least, you know, make it a lesson instead of just a shitty experience. I think it was a lot crappier for you than it was for him, honestly. He didn't seem to be affected by much of this at all. Ending thoughts, I'm still gay. Maybe pan, but I think it's just the compet, which is compulsory heterosexuality. I love women. I want a girlfriend, and I think that he was trying to change me into a definitely straight gamer girlfriend. Sorry that this is so long. So much shit happened, and there's still some stuff that I left out. Hopefully, this is the only post that I ever make in this subreddit. Thank you for having me, and thank you for reading it if you made it this far. It is a lesson hard learned, OP. There are a lot of friends out there that are not worth having. Hopefully you've learned that it's okay to let friends go. The second that they start saying some weird shit, talking about things that are not normally acceptable to talk about, it needs to be either addressed or you need to walk away from that person as soon as possible, lest they trap you into a very weird scenario like what happened here. I am super grateful that you got out of it okay. This dude might have escalated things if you kind of just continued to be coy and passive, and then he just, whatever, hops on the bed next to you, or I don't know. It could have gone so horribly, so I'm glad that you pushed back finally when you did. In my estimation, you needed to push back a lot sooner, but at 18 years old, I know that's a difficult thing to do. He decided to keep asking my grandma, how do you have sex for the first time? How are you supposed to act? What? Nice King asks my grandma how to have sex with me and more. Oh, God. Just the title alone, honestly, it just paints a picture, doesn't it? I saw this title, I'm like, well, I have to click on it. Well, I have to read it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So good. Let's talk about that, King. All right. So I've been having a hard time here lately. My fiance recently died. I've been assaulted and homeless and all kinds of good stuff. So admittedly, I'm a little bit unstable right now. Well, that is a terrible situation to find yourself in, OP. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't understand how this is applicable to the post. Maybe we're just getting like the trauma dumping out of the way at the very start. Good God, fingers crossed here. So, this all started when our self-proclaimed king hit me up on Facebook. He first starts flirting and saying that a childhood friend of mine, who I haven't talked to in years, sent him my Facebook and told me to hit him up. You mean told him to hit you up? I don't know what's going on here, honestly. I just walked in here. I'm so fucking confused. I'm trying to stay in it for a little bit longer. I guess we'll see how it goes. I say that I'm not interested and that they're both weird for talking about setting us up when I haven't talked to either one of them. Yeah, that's accurate. I also let him know about the death of my fiance, and he says, and I quote, "Not my problem." Oh my God. That's about the worst response that you could possibly have. Be like, hey, I'm sorry to hear that, but can I beat though? That's a terrible response too, but it is at least better than the shit that you said. I call him a freak and I block him. Yeah, huge red flag. Good on you for blocking him. I love that. Points to OP for using the block button. That's my favorite button, honestly. So, fast forward a few days, and I'm talking to CF, who is childhood friend, and GM, a woman who I see as a grandma figure, actually my mom's best friend. Oh, I thought you meant like a game master. No, it's just the old lady. And of course, my mom. And it comes out that King has had a hard life, and he actually got my Facebook from GM. So I think, man, it was kind of shitty of me to say that to him. Let's give him another chance. Bruh, what are you doing out here? First impression is generally correct. Do you not remember when he said, not my problem and all this? Like, just because of who referred him to you, you're gonna give him another chance? You gave him a chance already and he fucking blew it. I don't know. This is gonna turn into a mess real quick. Oh. So I get his Snapchat and we start talking again. Please stop. Don't do it. He is sweet and he's really into me. I'll admit that he's not a looker, but I genuinely don't care. I usually go for personality. We talk, and in typical small town fashion, I invite him to go to Walmart with me to look around and look and pick up some things for my cat. God. Is that a date in a small town? Why don't you kids head on down to the malt shop? Because there's no fucking malt shops left, Grandpa. They all got shut down when Walmart came to town. I don't even know what he's sweet and is really into me is supposed to mean. Like, those are the 2 points that mean, yeah, I definitely want to give him a date with you. Like, basically, that's just like, he's nice and he's interested in me. That's the bare minimum for human interaction. What do we have beyond that, OP? But again, I guess small town, you gotta take what you can get or something. And then the Walmart date is just the cherry on top of it all. You guys sure you don't want to, like, go see a movie? I'm sure they have a fucking movie theater, right? What a dumpster fire. All I'm doing is waiting for it to be set ablaze. So things go really far downhill from there. I'm shocked. The first thing he talks about is how
He's so high, and so many black women are into him, and how he's frustrated that he's still a virgin when so many black women hit on him.
he's white, I'm mixed. I basically say, damn, and keep driving. Don't keep driving, OP. You flip that fucking car around ASAP. Handbrake turn, Tokyo drift that shit. We're not doing this, okay? He doesn't even really see you as a human being. He just sees you as a black woman. And apparently, yeah, that's his flex. He's like, yeah, black women seem to like me. You're black, right? Yeah. You have to do this because I told you that other women do it. I do poke fun at like racism and microaggressions and stuff, but this is definitely not a good look. We already had red flags earlier. But yeah, please just turn around. End this before it gets really bad. But OP does not. At Walmart, he talks about a wide variety of subjects. MILFs, fucking me, his virginity, me taking his virginity, bi girls, and it was revealed that Grandma told him that I was bi. Oh, God. Grandma! Shut your fucking mouth! Why you gotta do stuff like that? Now he's gonna be like talking to her, do a three-way and all this stuff. Just so many red flags here. We might as well call this dude Comrade, okay? Come on, Comrade. Let's go to Walmart. We get things for my cat. Okay, sounds like a plan. By the way, your grandma told me that you was bi. He also commented on random women's asses and how slutty girls in the store's outfits were, and again, fucking me, and also his love of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gotta go fast.
Oh no! It's horrible, man. All of those things were sexual, except Sonic the Hedgehog. Unless you've seen some things on the internet like I have seen. The type of things that you can never unsee. But honestly, Sonic the Hedgehog does explain a lot. It is always Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't understand why. But yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, not really in that order, but those were really the only topics that he seemed interested in. Trust me, I tried to steer him towards other things. Oh my god, bro. Why can he not take the hint? What is going on here? Did he really think that this would work? I guess he thought that because he got the okay from grandma, he was in there. She was gonna help him pump or something. Oh god, that's a horrible mental image. All right. He also asked me, would you date me? No. Would I have a chance with you? No, I'm not interested. Would you be willing to take my virginity? Ugh. No, I don't think you can handle that. Yeah, once he gets it in one time, he's gonna be sprung head over heels, be like, oh, we're meant to be together. Why don't you find somebody else, okay? This is obviously not working out. Blocking him the first time around was definitely the move to make. I still don't understand why you unblocked him, but at least OP has her head on a swivel enough to be like, yeah, this date is a one and done, okay? I made the mistake of giving you a second chance. There's going to be no third chance. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, ReddX is gonna yell at me. So yeah, I drop him off at his house, just relieved that this is over, and 100% happy in my decision to never hang out with him again. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Or is it? However, since me and CF are thinking about becoming roommates, I decided to be civil and not insta-block him. Oh no. I can just be nice to the weird horny dude and just keep making my boundaries clear. Oh no. OP, it ain't worth it. All that sounds like way too much fucking effort. Isn't it easier to just block him? Why you even want to pretend to play nicey nice? You know what he's about. It's over. Wrap it up. You done, son. And yeah, all that was what I thought. He decided to keep asking my fucking grandma, how do you have sex for the first time? How are you supposed to act? What? Oh, God. Keep in mind, this guy is maybe 21 and grandma is in her 60s to early 70s. How do you act? Well, first you gotta take your teeth out, you see? What do you mean, bro? Her first time was half a fucking century ago. She doesn't remember any of that. That's some of the good cringe. And yes, this dude has internet access to, I don't know, like porn. He also said to her in front of my mom that he wanted that big titty goth bitch to take my virginity because my friends would be jealous. Oh my god, dude. In front of her mother. Just kill me now. I can't do this anymore. My mom would fucking snatch your wig off so fast, fucking bend your head backwards. I don't know how mom kept it together after a statement like that. On top of that, this dude has friends? Does he mean his one friend? He accidentally pluralized it. God damn it, dude. This is amazing. This is such good cringe. I don't know if it's Nice Guy or Neckbeard. It's posted in Nice Guy Stories, but it definitely has at least some Neckbeard vibes to it, doesn't it? So yeah, I stopped replying to his texts. Fucking well advised. And I told my CF girlfriend how I felt about him and how I have no intention of banging this disgusting dude. I also tell her about his begging for sex. Yeah, that's the best way. Really, if you want to get laid, just go out there and beg for it. Pity bang is the best way to go. And that is sarcasm for the people that aren't necessarily tracking. Jesus Christ, man. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. Grandma's right there helping him along, and he still can't get it done. He's hopeless. But I think that's all for the best because, yes, Comrade is just a parade of red flags. They both agree that it's annoying, but insist that he's not normally like this and to give him more time. No, we're done with all of this, okay? You don't tell me how to live my life. I have decided that I'm done. You don't make this decision for me. Grab your balls, OP. I understand they're friendly friends and shit like that, but if they're really good friends, then they're going to understand when you make the decision to block him regardless, right? So do what's best for you and your mental health. Okay, he's not normally like that, but he is right now, so I don't want to interact with him, period. And if you don't want to be my friend over it, that's fine too. Pick a side, back me up and move the fuck out of the way, right? So he is still on my Snap, posting things like, fuck love, women don't know what they want. And my favorite, cock blocked by a dead guy. Oh God! He's going on about OP's dead fiance. Are you kidding me? Put him up against the wall. Put him up against the wall! Some people be like, ReddX, no, he's redeemable. No, he's really not. I'm done trying, okay? That is it. What a reprehensible little fuck. And he blames everybody else for his problem. He's like, I don't know why I can't get it in. Because you're a freak. You're disgusting. Ugh. For more about this guy, he also talked about wanting to start a sex cult and wanting to be worshipped like a god and being an actual vampire. Yeah. He believes he's an actual vampire. Update on our king. Blocked. Summary. Dude's weird. To say the least. Sex cult doesn't even sound that cool. Sounds to me like you're just multiplying the amount of people that you're gonna fucking disappoint, right? Wanting to be worshipped by a god? That's also massively overrated, isn't it? It's not just like they're going to worship you and not expect anything back from you, okay? That is not how godhood works. People are gonna start asking you for shit constantly. So yeah, let's go down in the comments and see if everybody else is feeling the same about this dude. So Plums and Pork Chop says, this dude has got to have some kind of mental disability or handicap or something. What, just because he likes Sonic? Oh no, it goes way deeper than that. Okay, fine, carry on. I don't mean that in like a, he's special, be nice to him kind of way. Nor do I want to offend people with any sort of disability. But this guy cannot be right in the head. For him to first label himself a king. Can I have details about this? Does he just call himself king? Does he think he is a literal king of something? To behave this way with you? To ask your grandma these things? To call you a big titty goth bitch in front of your mom? This is literally insane. Yes, I was shocked by all of these things too. You know, I encourage men to like call themselves kings, you know. There's some dudes out there that definitely don't think enough of themselves. This dude on the other end of the spectrum, though, seems to think way too fucking much about himself. So it's a difficult one to suss out. Yeah, it's kind of terrifying, to be honest. I am sorry for your loss and traumatic experiences, and also whoever the hell this was that you had to deal with. Bizarre. I probably could have stolen that for just a one-word summary. Bizarre. Then you hop into the outro and stuff. Sharing is Caring 219 says, what the hell? Fuck that guy, but not literally. Thank you for clarifying. And everyone telling you to give him a second chance. That's the part that really gets me. People are like, oh, you can't block him. Like, look, you're for me or you're against me. Stand with me or like literally stop trying to talk to me. You are not in control of my life. I will block who I feel like blocking. To be clear, his behavior was disgusting. And it was really obvious from the start, from how he lied about a childhood friend contacting him about you to his callous reaction about your fiance's death, that he was not going to get any better. Yeah, puts up 2 red flags and gets blocked. And then she's like, maybe I'll go back for the 3rd one. And instead of a 3rd one, she just gets like an entire pile, 10,000 red flags, just buried in them. I am sorry that you were treated that way and that multiple people told you to give him another shot. Ugh. I hope he gets a serious freaking reality check because his mindset and behavior are deplorable. Another one-word summary. Yeah, bizarre. Yeah, deplorable. So yeah, given the comments, it seems that I'm not too far off the mark here. You know, I'm glad I didn't have to jump down OP's throats or anything because that would be a real bad look, right? She kept her head on a swivel. She did the best that she could with this freak. Maybe she was a bit too lenient with him, but like I kind of do get that too. Like, okay, somebody that I really respect is vouching for him. Maybe we can go on one date. Although after he fucked that date up, blocked immediately. I don't know why it took him so long to get blocked, but you did do the right thing eventually, OP. This could have gone a whole lot worse, considering that you were like out on a date in person with this fucking literal freak. Oh God, I too hope that somebody reality checks him really hard. Take him out back, put the boots to him, medium style. I just want to talk to him. I just want to shoot him.
Put the boots to him, medium style.
Haven't I been good to you? Haven't I been so good to you? Women like you are disgusting.
88-year-old weirdo with a plan. I, 22 female, live abroad, and I'm visiting home for the first time since this whole pandemic thing. I was sat on a bench listening to a podcast. An elderly man, he mentioned he was 88, approached me while pointing at his phone. Through the podcast, I heard him ask for my cell phone number. I instantly made sure to tell him that I was not interested. He then showed me a piece of paper with a bunch of cell phone numbers printed on it, and he explained he'd just bought a new phone but didn't know how to work with it. He'd been trying to add his old contacts, but he couldn't even figure out how to save a number. I apologized. We laughed it off, and I started helping him out, inserting the numbers into the new cell phone. Oh, and then at the end he asks you for yours. Using his age to pick up chicks? This is wild. What is going on? I was then adding the phone number of another woman into his phone. He said that she's his daughter, and he didn't even know where she was because she ran away from the home that she shared with her husband. He said he didn't understand why she would run away from such an expensive, luxurious house and that great husband of hers. And of course, this is why I respect lesbians more than married couples, he said. Bro, what? I'm pretty sure my face turned into a question mark after that because I was laughing it off too. I mean, what else can you really do in this situation? Tell him to go away, please. I'm quite enjoying whatever the hell else I was doing. I'd like to end this interaction now. Because one time, oh God, here it goes, old man time. I saw two girls holding hands and they asked me to come over. They started kissing each other in front of me and they also had a vibrator. Ah yes, the vibrator 5000, pick one up at your local Walmart. The rest is sort of a blur, but he did this very long speech, so I'll paraphrase it. You know, I totally get why women go with each other nowadays. Men just don't know how to pleasure women, and they get too intimidated by these toys, and generally they're real a-holes, but I know what to do. Oh, you're so different. How did I not know you for this long? Oh yeah, because you were like 60 when I was born. Oh. I know how to treat a lady with kindness and respect, and you know, my neighbor, she goes with women too, and she asked me to come over and use some toys on her, and she even let me use my own ding-dong now, and it's so big too. Even the women that go with other women love it. Do you have a boyfriend? Wow, this is escalating really quickly. This got out of hand super fast. OP says, yeah, she does have a boyfriend. And he asks, does he treat you right? I don't think that's any of your business, sir. But OP says, yeah, he does. You're still young, still have time, so this won't be the one. I hope one day you'll find a good man or a very good woman to give you lots of pleasure. Wow, thanks. I hate everything about this. Could you be more transparent? At least you didn't get the phone number, right? Okay. I was laughing hysterically. I didn't feel threatened by this dude, if I'm honest. He walks slower than a slug, and I thought this was hilarious because of how delusional he was. And of course, I say that with all the peace and love in the world. That's right, bless his heart. But enough is enough, so I decided to say it was nice to talk to him, but I had to leave. He then said that I have a very nice local accent, and asked me if I had a place nearby. Ew. My mind just went into WTF mode, and I actually laughed even harder this time because the situation was just too ridiculous. I said, no sir, I live abroad, I'm just here to visit my family and friends. Doesn't your family have a house nearby? It would be nice to visit you, keep in contact and stuff. Do you also want to have a coffee right now or some other time? My friends are about to show up, so I'm not available. Then I got up, so it's time for me to leave. Well, thank you so much for the kindness of your heart and for helping me out. I wish you health, love, and lots of happiness. He then grabbed my hand for a handshake, and before I removed it, he raised it to his lips over his freaking mask, thank God, and he kissed it. And with his other hand, he removed my mask and caressed my face from one cheek to the chin to the other cheek. Yeah, I was out after that. You let him take your mask off? That's like way too in my personal space. But I do gotta say that this dude, I mean, he had a game plan. I'll give him that. It was really creepy and weird, and thank God it didn't work out, but I'm sure it's worked out before if he's like insistent on trying it. First, he's, you know, with the phone and whatnot. I'm surprised he didn't go for the phone number, but then would you like to get coffee now or later? Like, you really think that's gonna work? How about never? What a creepy old dude. I mean, we have a parade of nice guys, but I'm sure that one's the oldest for today. So, let's move on from this, and hopefully he's moving so slow we can't catch up. Can't even fish in peace. I mean, then you're doing it wrong. Had the most frustrating encounter with a nice guy yesterday while just trying to fish. First off, it's important to know that anglers tend to make small talk with each other, usually along the lines of, hey, catch anything, or how's your luck today? Followed by, yep, nice day to be out. And then that's about it. That sounds perfect. That's about the level of humor and interaction I'm looking for. Thanks so much. With that context in mind, my story starts with this fellow stopping to ask the usual angler type questions, except the guy doesn't stop. And then he gets interested in my tackle box and my setup. He remarks that I've got the setup all wrong. Bobber, weight, normal hook and bait for catching bass. And I'm like, I'm really out here to relax, you know? This is my lazy day rig. I mean, that is a good brush off line, but I don't think this dude is gonna get the hint. Then he proceeds to make a comment about how nice it is to see
A woman interested in such things.
At least he didn't call you a female, I guess. He then asked permission to show me some tricks or whatever, because he's totally this avid fisherman, and I'm like, weird? But I'm always up for learning new things, I guess. Anyway, fast forward, he's grabbing my rod before asking,
Is that okay?
I think that part of the story kills me more than anything else. Do I have your consent to touch your fishing rod? Isn't there someone you forgot to ask? All right. He proceeds to take 20 minutes, quote unquote, showing me how to fish. And he keeps, quote unquote, offering to take me to some small podunk town outside of the city to fish. And he just would not take the hint that my interest in his trivia is well and over. Like, hey, thanks. It was nice meeting you. Have a great day. For some reason, just didn't work on the fisherman nice guy. Oh, that's unfortunate. I did call it, but yeah, it's always unfortunate. It's up to you. You have to use your wits and cunning to get out of this one. Eventually, I had to make up a boyfriend so he would finally leave. And he made a snarky comment about how
Maybe someday you'll catch a fish.
And I'm like, yeah, I've caught fish before. I just came out here to relax with no expectations. Like, WTF. I don't think there's a nice guy in the world that knows how to live without any expectations. There's always an expectation, and it's always for one thing, and it's always really sad and pathetic. And I'm not reading too much into it. This is not like just an overly friendly guy. She said she had a boyfriend, he dipped. That's easy math. So after this, he finally does go away. I realized that he broke my little flippy knife thing. The blade wouldn't retract back into its handle, which meant that I couldn't just chuck it into my backpack or I might end up stabbing myself. Guys like this fellow is why women can't have nice things. P.S. I know I should have been firmer to get him to leave, but A, I wasn't in the mood to be potentially verbally attacked or worse, and B, I'm honestly just very bad at being overtly mean, even when I definitely should be. I mean, you can't refuse because of the implication. You're out on a boat, there's no one around. She could say no, but she's not going to because
of the implication.
Dude really did want like a big titty angler girlfriend, right? And the only way that he finally gave up the hunt is when she drops the boyfriend. I guess he ain't alpha enough to out alpha. I mean, I do gotta give him some props, okay? Respecting a relationship, even if it is a fake one. I guess I appreciate that. I'd appreciate it more if you just respected the initial signs that OP was giving off, but it be what it be. She didn't even outright say no. She just dropped the boyfriend and finally he did get the hint. So I don't know, maybe not the worst dude in the world, but he definitely rained on OP's lovely fishing day and broke her flippy knife. Anyways, let's get into the next one. We'll see what happens with it. Met a nice guy at a party about 5 years ago. 2 weeks after the party, I found out that no one wanted him there. So first of all, I'm glad I found this community, and I'm thankful for my personal nice guy experience because it taught me a plethora about the victim mindset and that people like the one that I'm about to talk about really do exist. When I saw the victim mindset in action from him, this really helped me in my own personal journey. Anyway, continuing. No, not continuing quite yet, because that's a very intelligent trait to have, OP. You didn't have to experience the trials and tribulations for yourself. You saw what he went through, you applied it to your own life. That really is big brain time. Good on you. So about 5 years ago, I, along with the small neighborhood I was a part of, was invited to one of the neighbors' houses for a casual social get-together. I know almost everyone in my neighborhood, so I figured it would be a good idea to see everyone and catch up on the goings-on, as you do. Things were going smoothly until I started talking to this guy. We will call him NG for short. Well, his introduction to me is all about talking himself up.
He's 6 foot. He goes to the gym. He has a great job, etc., etc.
Sounds like the average Reddit post, if I'm gonna be honest about that. Oh, also, I wanted to say, if you've watched the video this far, you probably enjoyed it, right? Why don't you hit that subscribe button if you haven't, like button if you haven't, leave a comment for me, I appreciate you. But okay, back to the show. While NG is talking, he's also systematically trying to ruin my self-esteem and ego by saying things like,
I bet you never been with someone like me, or I'm too good for you, or most girls fawn over me, and I bet you're not smart, and you're too pretty to be smart, or I bet you don't even have a degree, and women need men, and you're not as pretty as you think you are, blah, blah, blah.
Wow, that's a lot of examples. This is like the most basic form of negging. You need to step your game up, that's all I'm saying. I'll admit, I was mostly bored with the conversation and was just trying to find a way out, looking up at the sky, yawning, generally acting disinterested, and looking around for someone else to introduce him to. But I will admit, I was a little peeved at his suggestion that since I'm a woman and pretty, that I can't be smart. I mean, really, you got nothing to prove. Why you want to prove yourself to this guy? Whatever. Hold your stupid ideals. Go watch a Hollywood blockbuster where everything makes sense, right? The real world's too complex. Let's fit everybody in little boxes. All right, I'll stop. So I told him I have an engineering degree, which is true, and his reaction reminded me of a psychopath. No lie. For most of the conversation, he had a look like he was looking down on me, like he was so superior to me. But for those few seconds after I told him that I had an engineering degree, he looked down to the floor, and after 2 seconds, he immediately looked back up with a full smile on his face and asked me,
do you want to go to the grocery store to get cigarettes?
What? That's your next move, really? Okay. OP says, no, I don't even smoke. And for a minute or two, he argues with me about my life choices on not smoking. Ew, dude, ew. It's just another human that wants you to be as miserable as he is. Don't do it. And then he said,
can I buy you something?
I said, no, I'm good. I don't want to go anywhere with you. I love that. Firm. It is then at this moment that he goes on this weird tirade about how
all women want to be treated like princesses and to be bought stuff. And he'll treat me like a man, and no other man will treat me as well as he will, and that I should be attracted to him because he's 6 foot
and chubby. He was also hurling insults at me, saying,
I'm not smart enough even though I have an engineering degree, blah, blah, blah.
Look at you, OP, with the blah blahs, right? Like I said earlier, I really don't think that you should even pay this dude any mind, but okay. I guess OP decided it was over because she ended the conversation with, that is your opinion.
Well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
She Big Lebowski'd him. And I immediately got up and walked away because I was so done with talking to him. He then proceeds to do this very strange behavior that reminded me of a small child, in which he would do everything that he could to get me to look over at him, and then he would just scoff at me. How old are these people? Over the age of 18. Too damn old for this. Somebody tell that dude to go home. He is so clearly drunk. Maybe. Let's hope. He started talking to other girls while constantly looking in my direction, and yeah, just weird. Really weird. So I asked one of the other women at the party to walk me home. One that, ironically enough, he had been talking to while he was behaving like a child after talking with me. And she told me as well that she got some really bad and strange vibes off of him. I do know that feeling. Sometimes you can just tell. So after I get home, my house was just a few houses down, I hear someone walking and standing right outside my house. My windows are open, so it's really easy to tell when somebody's out there, and lo and behold, it was Nice Guy, who I talked to earlier. Do you have a gun, OP? Maybe buy one? He was talking with one of the other neighbors right outside of my house. Luckily, he didn't know which house was mine, so he was just walking around the vicinity of the houses that he thinks he saw me go into. This is so horrifying. Again, this has escalated just so quickly. Why? Why any of this? He then proceeded to stay there and stand around until at least 1 in the morning. I know because I heard him keep talking to himself about all the great things he has to offer. How could such a horrible woman reject such an amazing man? That I was all these expletives and blah, 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 blah. I'll admit, I was scared. I mean, anybody would be, honestly. Maybe it's time to call the police. That's all I'm saying. How had I met such a delusional, scary, angry man who seriously needed to get off whatever he was on and go directly to therapy? Fast forward 2 weeks later, and I'm talking with the host and another neighbor. The host told me that most of the neighbors were thinking of booting him out of the party, but since he was the son of a couple of the neighbors that were there, they didn't. The son? What is the age range of this party? I'm so confused, man. And that one neighbor who had talked to him outside my place told Nice Guy that the party was over and had to sneak around the back alley to come back to the party and avoid Nice Guy. Like, wow. I hope you enjoyed, and if you are a nice guy, please, for the love of all that is good and pure, know that you must love, accept, and heal yourself before ever committing to a serious relationship. And if you are hateful towards women, try to look inside of yourself and see how much hate it is you're carrying for yourself, because if you hate yourself, then it's time to take charge of your life and learn how to love, heal, and accept you for you. Thank you for reading. I'm glad I could finally get this one off my chest. Peace and love to you all. Cheers. This one was definitely, just, I don't know how it got out of hand so quickly, you know? You think it's just an awkward interaction at a party, and then you have the dude, like, outside the street looking for you until 1 a.m. I don't know how I would handle this. Possibly with the 12 gauge. Do you know where so-and-so's house is? Yeah, it's back the way you came. Oh my God, man. If you get bad vibes and you're the host of a party, definitely boot that dude. There's no reason to have him there. He's somebody's son? Well, okay. I'm sorry your son's a creep. He's walking around talking to all the guests. We can't have that. You gotta go home. You gotta go home. I'm glad the situation turned out all right. You kept your head low and stuff. I still think maybe calling the cops would have been a good idea, but then I don't know, they might have come directly to your house and then that guy has confirmation for the future. So it was probably a really big brain play. I just didn't see it for what it was. Hopefully the comment section will let me know what they think. Let's do one more. These are relatively short, so we'll do one more and then I'll get out of here for the day. Nice guy of my hometown gets mad when I said to stop talking about my chest. I'm sorry in advance if the English isn't that good. I'm still trying to learn, so feel free to correct me. A little bit of backstory. I started working as a server in my tiny hometown last year for summer break. I worked in this pizzeria, which is actually quite popular where I live, and I was also able to meet a lot of new people and some old friends as well, since my social skills have been improved a lot. Thanks also to this job. Unfortunately, there is also where I met a nice guy. I mean, the title is fairly egregious, but also I guess it could be worse, which is depressing. We'll see what caliber of nice guy we have in this one. Me and Nice Guy knew each other for quite a bit before this, but we had never spoken, even in real life, until I started working there. We followed each other on Instagram, but never had a single text since the day that he saw me start working. He's older than me, by the way. I'm 23 female, he's about 30-something male. And to be honest, not my type. Way too skinny and doesn't care about his image at all. Besides, I already have a boyfriend. Maybe just me, but I think the boyfriend part should have come first. Now I sound like a nice guy. All right. On a particular day, I decided to take a selfie and post it on Instagram stories because I was feeling myself and I felt hot once in a while. He started messaging me as soon as he saw my photo, complimenting me, and I thanked him and I thought that it would end there, but I was wrong. Yeah, you were. Open the door, open the floodgates. We know how this was gonna go. This guy would then proceed to spam me messages ranging from him complimenting me, saying he'd like me to spend some time with him, saying he isn't like all the other guys who message women just for S3X. Yeah, sure. Saying sorry a million times when I didn't respond in like 0.1 seconds, and saying he's a failure and destined to be lonely for life, and lastly, every time he says that he really isn't into me at all, he's just trying to have a conversation. Yeah, who's buying that? You could see through that, right, OP? It's transparent as hell. We need to start manufacturing glass out of nice guys. Of course, all of this was slowly driving me crazy. Luckily, he messages me about 5 times in the span of 5 months, but I did kind of feel bad for him, so even if it was annoying getting spammed with texts, I did try to respond to him when I could. See, there you go, opening the door even wider. No, don't do this. Bro, I really do need to get that like Neckbeard PSA together. He's using his honeyed words to open the door even further. She's too nice to tell him to go screw, and here we are. Our last quote-unquote conversation, since he wasn't even asking me a question about me or anything in particular, he just kept pooping on himself, complimenting me, saying my boyfriend's lucky, yada yada yada. That's really, I don't like any of this. How were you even supposed to respond to that? Again, I say stop responding, please. So this happened a month ago. I posted a photo of my little kitty cat that had fallen asleep on my chest, and I thought it was really cute. Then he messaged me saying that he wished he was my cat sleeping on my chest, that my chest is big, which actually it really isn't, and that it must be, quote, so soft. Ew, the block button's right there, OP, let's go. It's over now. I felt really uncomfortable. Besides, he already knew I had a boyfriend, so I told him to stop talking about my chest like that. He felt mad, but agreed to change the subject, only because I asked him to. Oh, what a gentleman. And he started saying that he isn't into me, he was just joking around. And then he tried to get my sympathy because his life is so sad, yada yada yada. Oh, this OP with the yada yadas, all right. I had enough at this point of this absolute clownery, and I straight up told him that I didn't care and to just stop. Oh, you'll love to see that. Cut right to the quick, eviscerate him. Probably not the fastest way to end it, but it'll get it done. Oh, he went mad at this point. He started telling me, he was just joking. And, geez, can you take a joke like once in your life? Yeah, if it's funny, get out of my DMs. And he said that if that was the case, he'd stop messaging me. It was actually the second time that he threatened to stop messaging me. I simply said, okay. Don't even say okay. Just let actions speak louder than words, all right? And that was it. He really did stop messaging me. And when we meet in real life, he wouldn't even say hi to me. He just coughed when I wasn't paying attention when he was passing by. And to be honest, I'm just thankful that I dodged a bullet. Yeah, tell me you're gonna stop messaging me? Don't threaten me with a good time. Just do it. You swear that I actually care. TLDR, creepy nice guy, after bugging me with excessive messages, gets mad when I told him to stop talking about my chest, saying, I can't take a joke. And then he just kind of stopped talking to me. Honestly, quick, painless, it could have gone worse, I guess. Full stop. We just need to have like a no nice guys policy. I'll be honest, unsolicited compliments, that is always enough to put me on edge. And then you start looking a little deeper for the red flags and you find them every single time, don't you? Oh, let's get to the lab. We'll wrap this thing up. Thank you for watching, friends. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those things I said, you remember? Maybe follow me on the social medias, you know, the Twitch, the TikTok. I'm around. Thank you, as always, to our wonderful channel supporters. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.